Test. Oh, hey. That's how we sound in the pros, huh?
Good evening, fans, and welcome back inside the Family Arena. Jason Troop alongside Alvin Washington as we get set for a game number 2 of our double dip here tonight. Earlier action saw the St. Louis River Sharks upend the Bloomington Flex by a final of 113 to 109, ending a win streak that dated back to May of 2013 for the Bloomington Flex. A streak of 24 or 25 straight games that had been won. And bringing Alvin into the broadcast here, we kick out Craig Fada. We bring in Alvin Washington for game number 2 of this double dip. That was Craig Fada over there, absolutely.
That was cool.
Gotta love working in the radio and TV business. You know so many people you don't even know what they look like.
Man,
you know what I mean?
I tell you. But I tell you what about this game here. Having watched the Gateway Steam the other night against the River Sharks, and you could tell night and day the aggressiveness between the two clubs. It was a River Sharks win at that point. They also had over 100 points. The Steam are going to have their work cut out for them because I'm looking at this roster here, and it's a great mix of talent, not only from Metro Chicago, but talent that has played at the Division I and the Division II level. Schools ranging from Chicago State University, which as of late has been on a pretty solid, good streak, having gone over to the Western Athletic Conference. You've got some HBCU representation with Tuskegee and Central State. There's also a young man from the City Colleges of Chicago that's on the club. A lot of good talent on this team. And they're being coached by someone that a lot of people in this business, not just here in the MPBA, but all across the coaching circle says is one of the best no-nonsense coaches going, and that's Rick Pryor.
Well, having not seen Chicago play, I haven't even seen Chicago practice as of yet. And I'm with you. I saw the Gateway Steam on Friday night against the River Sharks, still trying to figure out what we're going to see in this type of league. I thought it was an impressive win by the River Sharks just a few minutes ago, knocking off the Flex, a team that hadn't lost in a couple of years. I don't care what league you play for. That's pretty impressive numbers. But when you look at Gateway, I think one of the guys that you'll have to keep an eye on is Jake Anderson. I mean, Anderson was a guy that just filled it up during Game 1 on Friday night. He's an Iowa State product as well. Went through a couple of other smaller colleges as well. But he's a guy that you'll have to keep an eye on throughout the course of the night. Not a lot of size for Gateway, which is what I remember seeing from them in that first game as well. You've got Chad Fortenberry down low and Mike Gills down low, and that's really the only size that you see for Gateway down low. Is that going to be something that Chicago can take advantage of? Are they force a larger team? Are they more a guard-oriented team? Tell me what you know about the Chicago team and how that matchup might be.
Well, as I mentioned, there is some size to deal with. Among those, Dejari Nelson, 6'9", out of Chicago State. Primarily a small forward, does play center. Wide body at 6'9". You add Antoine Ware out of Tuskegee, 6'6", small forward. Another 6'6" guy, Brandon Price, 6'6", out of Central State. Then you got one of the Caldwell brothers, Ronnie Caldwell, 7-foot center out of Illinois State. If you remember this name from a few years back, Bryant Caldwell, highly touted recruit, went to Illinois. That's his older brother. Brian Caldwell was a part of one of the most heralded high school games back in about 2006 when then Simeon guard Derrick Rose went up against Proviso East, which is where the Caldwell boys went to. Brian Caldwell in this case, and it was a back-and-forth contest. I had a chance to call that game, and I tell you, it was nothing short of an electric atmosphere. A lot different here because, of course, we're just starting out. But the great thing about the MPBA is that a lot of these youngsters who are still 23, 24, 25, still living that dream of trying to get to the next level. And this is where it starts.
Let's step aside real quick as we've got about 90 seconds or so until the official introductions. We'll step aside. We'll take care of some business. We'll come back. We'll run through the starting lineups as well. and kind of finish setting the picture for you as we get set the season opener for the Chicago Force here tonight. Franchise opener as well on the road. The Gateway Steam already have one of theirs under the belt, a loss on Friday night to the River Sharks. We'll step aside. Come on back, won't you? Game 2 of our doubleheader underway right after this.
This is my son, Brett Finbloom, student athlete, community volunteer, college freshman. Ever heard of him? It was all there in his obituary. Brett died after just 2 hours of drinking. Not in a fall, not in a car crash. He drank too much, too fast. Brett died at a party from alcohol poisoning. Friends watched. A few tried to help, but no one called 911 until it was too late, afraid they'd be arrested for drinking.
If medical help is needed because of alcohol, call 911 immediately.
Stay until help arrives and cooperate.
Minors who call for medical care and assist police cannot be charged with underage drinking.
It's Indiana's lifeline law. Make the call, get help, save a life.
Alcohol makes smart teens do stupid things. Stop it from becoming deadly. Make the call, get help, save a life.
Intense game, but that's what makes it all the more fun to play.
Just keep working hard and encouraging each other and staying positive. And it keeps us motivated to keep going and to keep persevering towards the top, because that's what sports is all about.
With your attention, please. You can watch live streaming.
It's a great thing. It was fun yesterday because we're up in Nevada City, and so I was able to watch the game.
Excited to have this online, and so they can view it now and later, and people that can't be here. It's been a really cool thing.
It's a great experience. Anybody who's not had the opportunity to be here at the game, this brings the game to you.
On CoachesAid.com. That's CoachesAid.com.
Back inside the Family Arena, Jason Trube alongside Alvin Washington getting set to bring you game 2 of our doubleheader here this afternoon at the Family Arena. And tell you what, it's Chicago against St. Louis. The Gateway Steam got underway on Friday night. They fell to the St. Louis River Sharks. But tonight we'll run through the starting lineup for this team, and then I'll pass it over to you. You tell us a little bit more about the Force, Alvin. But first for the home-standing Steam, it'll be Jake Anderson. He's a guy that can certainly fill it up on the floor, an Iowa State University product. Curtis Mosley Jr., another Chicago kid, along with Dimitri Riggs and Terrell Williams and Chad Fortenberry, as we touched on earlier already. Really the only representation of size on this roster for the Gateway Steam.
Let's take a look at the Chicago Force. Derek McDonald wearing number 3, 6'6" out of Porterville Jr. He'll be on the guard line with Sam McWhorter out of Malcolm X College at 6 foot. Travell Amix out of Purdue, 6'4" guard, Purdue Calumet, which is in the Metro Chicago area. On another guard in Tramel Adams, number 43. Adams standing some 6'3", He out of Robert Morris College in Chicago. Great NAIA program. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, the 7-foot center out of Illinois State, Ronnie Caldwell of the Caldwell boys. His brother Bryant went to Illinois. Very good size for Rick Pryor's lineup to get things going here.
And that's going to cause problems for Gateway, as we saw on Friday night. Were you in town for that Friday night game? Did you make it here this weekend?
I was on the road. I actually saw the inaugural broadcast. A great presentation.
Get to log in, all right.
And I have to say, as I said at the top of the show, it was night and day between the River Sharks, who won earlier today, hard-fought game against Bloomington, and the Steam. And if the Steam don't get going with the aggressiveness that this Force team is set to bring to them, it's going to be a long afternoon.
Steam will be in the white jerseys, the Chicago Force in the bright red. Game 3 in the history of the Midwest Professional Basketball Association.
Interesting thing about Derek McDonald, when I first saw him, he was just a worker at the Kroc Center, which is where the Force and their compatriots, the Windy City Groove, are playing out of. He came to the Combine, worked it out. Here he is, once again playing pro ball. And that's the great thing about this league. It doesn't matter where you come from. If you're willing to put in the work, there's a spot for you in this league.
Here comes a jump ball. It'll be, again, as you said, Caldwell against Fortenberry, pair number 51s, and Caldwell wins it easily. And here comes the Force with the basketball. They'll start it in the hands of Sam McWhorter. One thing I've noticed so far, the multicolored shoes don't have the shoe contract yet in the MPBA, so everyone wearing what they got at home.
Well, this is minor league basketball, so you have to get what you get.
There's the dump down low, and it was ripped out of the hands of Caldwell. Now the whistle blows, and didn't see the call on the other way. That's going to be a foul on the Force, Sam McWhorter. Here come the Steam to walk it up court right to left in the all-white jerseys. Little push along the sideline here, and now they're going to say he stepped out of bounds. Dimitri Riggs from Bloomington, Illinois, turns it over. Just underway, just about 30 seconds in to the season opener for the Chicago Force. McWhorter with the basketball up top. He'll dump it onto the left wing to Adams, and he launches his shot. It was a two-pointer, and buries the bucket, 2-zip for the visiting Force.
That's a great way to get started there. If you can knock it down from way out, why not?
Stretch that defense out wide there and then take advantage of that. Down the road, and there's a swat by Caldwell as he knocks it out of bounds on the shot from Chad Fortenberry.
Again, this is where the Force are going to have their biggest advantage. He's, I believe, the only 7-footer in our league as we speak.
Pass onto the left wing. That's Mosley Jr. giving it up. Terrell Williams down the lane, hangs in the air, throws at the shot, draws the contact, gets the bucket to fall, no call, and here we go the other way.
It's amazing with the great way that the Force had switched on that one. Even had a hand on the ball as the shot went up. That's weight room there.
Bounce pass down low, quick turnaround, right-handed baby hook, good from Derek McDonald.
The one thing I like about McDonald's game is that no matter where he is on the floor, he has the strength and the veteran know-how to get the ball in the air and knock it down even off glass.
He'll hedge on the screen there. Dribble picked up, now Fortenberry with it up top of the key. He'll try to drive himself, now kicks it off into the wing. Three-pointer up from Anderson. That one's going to hit off the back of the iron and then off the clock above the backboard, and that'll be turned over to the Force. You're right. That's a big dude out there, huh? Ronnie Caldwell. My goodness.
The one thing that Ronnie Caldwell does for this Force club is it provides that much-needed middle presence. No matter where you are on the floor, you saw what Fortenberry had to do. He had to bring it back out to the outside.
Not necessarily. You don't have to block shots to be effective inside the paint.
Absolutely. And if you ever saw his brother Bryant, the younger kid, Bryant was the same way at Proviso East.
Between the circles with it, that's Anderson. Again, he was the best, one of the more fun players to watch on Friday night. And again, there's Caldwell showing off his size. I mean, he's got a good 50 pounds on Fortenberry.
Rick
Fortenberry lifted at 215.
Rick Pryor said on the bus ride all the way down, said, "Gentlemen, this is a business trip," and already you see what the result is.
Adams taking it to the rack as well on the bucket there. They've got the lead now, 6-2. Chicago does. Up top, passing up the three-pointer was Fortenberry. They'll swing it around the perimeter now. A ball launched from the left corner. That's not going to go out of the hands of Riggs, and here come the force the other direction. Sam McWhorter. Long jump shot from the left wing. Bounces straight up in the air. Couldn't control the rebound, and the Steam come away with it. Anderson again, looking to go coast to coast. Now he gets tripped up, and they're going to call, I believe they're going to call 5 on that. Yeah, that's McWhorter on a blocking foul.
Oh, that's a real touch foul there on Caldwell.
Almost like his ankle just collapsed and he fell to the court. It was a little ticky-tack. Ball inbounded quickly up top of the key to Riggs. He'll walk it around to the left wing. Riggs trying to use his speed that he's got on Tremel Adams. Now up top it goes again. They'll drop it off to the lane. No size down there at all whatsoever. I mean, that's going to be big. He's just going to bounce off of him like a brick wall all night. Fortenberry.
Not only that, but if you watch the help side defense, that also plays into the success down low for the Force.
Pass down low. Turn around. There's a nice little hook again, and it's up and in.
Again, no matter where McDonald is on the floor, if you don't give him that little shove that's going to get him out of his rhythm, he's going to hit those shots from everywhere, every time.
He's got some nice length. Looks like he's got some good post-up moves as well that he can take those smaller guards and down low. It's a ball fake by Mosley Jr. He's going to the rack, hangs in the air, draws some contact, does Fortenberry, and gets it to fall.
He almost had the recovery there and a block shot.
8-4. It's the Force leading the Steam. Early stages of this one. Bounce down low again, back outside. Tremel Adams has already hit 1 from 3. That one a bit too strong, though. The rebound chased down by Fortenberry. Quickly up the court the other direction. That's Mosley Jr. Drawing contact. Couldn't hit the bucket. The rebound put back. He's up and in, though, by Terrell Williams from Rochester, New York.
This is where you need a little bit more help on that one. I would have loved to have seen another help sider come through, give a little bit of a hand because the guy was coming in the lane. Nobody boxed him out whatsoever.
Nice take. Some patience there by McWhorter, but nothing falling, and back the other direction go the Steam. Underneath, wrapped it around, now kick back outside, 3 ball, no. Weak side rebound, though. Pulled down, that's Terrell Williams in the paint. He's going to get foul drawn, and I'll tell you what, the big boy, Ronnie Caldwell, didn't like it.
That's 2 quick ones, too. Wow. So that'll take the size out immediately.
That's his second. I only have him down as 1. That's 2 now on Caldwell already.
I believe that's 2 on him.
That is correct.
It is 2. It's 2 because we misidentified McWhorter on the first one. Both of those were on Caldwell.
Okay, gotcha.
And that's going to be big because that eliminates the size right away. But again, there's still a couple of 6'6" guys that they'll come in and give Caldwell a breather. So the Force are not hurting for size right now at all.
Got a line change right now, too, as the Chicago brings in 5 fresh bodies.
One of those being Aaron Pryor, the coach's son, so to speak.
Is that the son of the coach, huh?
Out of UIC, 6'5" guard. As a matter of fact, Coach Pryor did do some assisting under Bob Hallberg at UIC prior to, no pun intended, his appointment at Chicago State as their head coach in 1994. As a matter of fact, he was the last coach that Chicago State had as an independent before going to what was at that time the East Coast Conference.
You know, ECC, they always got a ton of teams in the tournament.
Gosh.
Right? Dance. Up top it goes. Steam, a fresh player in there, too. That's McGill. There's a nice take by Anderson. He gets fouled. Couldn't get the bucket to go, but Jankel head to the free throw line. He's a Chicago native as well, Jake Anderson. Pretty good shooter from the outside, 6'2", 200-pounder.
You know, again, if you notice the help side defense coming over, they almost got the block just a little bit too much of the body that time.
Tell you what, there's a lot of Chicago flavor on both of these rosters. I know you talked about the Force a lot, but I mean, you look at Gateway, you've got Mosley Jr., you've got Linnell Reeves, just from Chicago alone, Mike Gills, even some other guys from the Illinois area. So including Anderson, who was just at the free throw line.
The one thing you'll learn quickly about Chicago is that we are not hurting for talent whatsoever. And as many pro leagues that have come through Chicago and even the pro-ams over the years, there's always been a plethora of kids from the Windy City to fill up those rosters. Now, what level it is, that remains to be seen. I like the fact that Chicago is well represented here in the MPBA among all 6 teams.
Mm-hmm. Midwest flavor, certainly, for sure. I was thinking of kind of a Valley flavor, a little Missouri Valley flavor, too, as well. Not all the players being from the Valley, but that size of a college. A lot of schools in that range, I see. Back to the action on the court. That's Aaron Pryor trying to get to the rack, number 21. A weak side rebound pulled down by Anderson. Kicked into the corner. He'll get it right back. Now top of the key. 3 ball from Riggs. That one rattled around and popped out.
It's a rather large guard line as well, too.
There's a shot from the left side. No good. Trying to tip it back up and in. That's not going to go either as Fortenberry pulls it down.
You don't want to settle for jump shots that far out this early in the contest. Work your inside game. Nice backhand.
Back the other way. Easy lay-in. You're right. Good heads up. That was a little. He was looking for the spin move, and then he let the ball go on purpose ahead to his teammate.
Yeah, that's the one thing you got to love about Chicago guards is that they always try that fancy dribble, but it's with a purpose.
That's McGill with the tape on the right shoulder. Had that there on Monday. There's a take to the rack, drawing some contact. That was Chris Babbitt. Foul going to be called on Jari Nelson. And we're going to take us to our first timeout as well here, Alvin. 12-8, it's the Force leading the Steam. 5:25 left in the first quarter. You're tuned in right here on the MPBA Broadcasting Network.
Force 12, Steam 8 as we are back here at Family Arena in St. Charles, Missouri. And just want to take a look at that last fast break there as the Steam were bringing it up. It was a steal, and that behind the back pass, that's a staple. That's a staple of Chicago guard play. It may not be the prettiest. It may not be what a coach wants at the time, but once it works, the coach is like, good job.
It's one of those, no, yes.
Oh, man. Gotta love it.
Missed the first of the 2 free throws. Next one is on the way, and that one does rattle home for the St. Louis native Chris Babbitt, who played his college ball up the river a little bit at Quincy, Illinois.
Oh, know about Quincy very well in the Division II ranks. One of the top universities in the GLVC, and they're, from what I've been hearing, that league is like the SEC of Division II ball.
Buried a 3-pointer. That was Jake Anderson from the left wing. Yeah, the GLVC is on the rise.
Wow,
across the board.
A lot of great schools in that conference, and there's even schools trying to get in there.
2-pointer. That was a distance one on the far side by Jared McCullum.
I wonder if they know exactly where the pro line is.
I bet there's some guys out there that don't have the feel for it. That you have to. They got to look down on the floor to find out where it is. Just don't have the feel for it yet. There's some good hustle on the far side there. Fortenberry fighting for it, but he was the last one to touch it. He'll be subbed for it. Here comes Mike Gills, who got the start on Friday night.
The one thing you don't want to do as a guard is to have a lackadaisical mindset with the basketball when you're way out in space. You want to have a lot of control like that.
Oh, good take. Good take.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Have the mindset of either I'm going to get my guys into it or I'm going to take it to the rack.
There's a nice dish from block to block, and now an extra pass is going to get away from everyone. That should go this direction. It should, yeah. They're trying to say it was tipped. The backside referee is saying, yes, it was deflected. I didn't see it deflected. I thought the original call was the right call.
Hey, they're on the floor and they're in the trenches better than us, so I defer.
I'm digging the suit Darrell Robinson's rocking over to our right there. Looking sharp.
See, and that's another thing. The young coaches that get the opportunity to coach in this league. This is where they also make the grade.
Sure.
Because you never know who's going to be looking at you at the next level. Maybe a major college, maybe somebody in the NBA, maybe another major professional league. You never know. As long as you look the part, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do, and as long as the wins are coming, and that's the key.
That's the key. That's always the key.
You'll get the looks.
Well, and the development of the players, too. You're not going to get 22, 23-year-old kids aren't going to roll through your program if they're not going anywhere all the time either. They've got to improve. You've got to find a way to help their game out.
Oh.
Here comes the new line of force players.
Looks like it's the original line, too.
And they're all going to come back in again. Yeah, the starting five. Back out on the court now for Chicago. Interesting when you see him doing that. First game of the season, I guess. So, usually don't see 5 and 5 substituted for each time, not in basketball.
Well, it goes to philosophy. And I think what Rick Pryor is doing is he's trying to get enough minutes for everybody to be able to get themselves a good flow, get themselves an idea of who they'll be rolling with. It's the same thing that John Calipari is doing at Kentucky, and it seems to be working for the top-rated Wildcats right now.
Nice shot back there by Anderson. 14-16 or 16-14 is your score. Force have the 2-point lead.
Boy, nice pass inside to Caldwell on that one by young Mr. Adams. And when you've got size like this, the passes just come easy.
First team foul. At the line for the Force, number 51, Ronnie Caldwell.
Here's the 7-footer at the stripe. Got a pretty nice touch from there.
It's more than a notion that when you come from Chicago, one thing you better work on is free throws, or you're not going to get in the game, and that's at any level.
Well, that was a big problem in Game 1 earlier this afternoon. Boy, the Bloomington Flex missed 20 free throws in that game and ended up falling by 5 points. 4 points.
You know who I was impressed at in that contest?
Who's that?
Justin Bowcott.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the former SIU Carbondale guard.
Yeah. And I tell you what, if the producer allows me, I'd like to talk a little bit about, some of the other guys here in the league.
We'll keep it here.
All right. By the way, 18-14, Force lead the steam here. Talking about Justin Bowcott from the Flex. I had a chance to track him during his days at SIU, one of the best players in the Missouri Valley. To see him here in this league continue on and continue to be the player that he's always been lets you know that the opportunity to let local talent thrive professionally and develop professionally is what's going to be one of the big calling cards of this league. Not only the local schools, the local kids. I'd love to see more St. Louis kids in these two clubs here with the Steam and the River Sharks, because there's especially those that may have played in the U High League. There's a lot of talent in the U High that is being overlooked. And, I implore anybody that's watching right now from the St. Louis area, if you know anybody that has played Division I or any type of college ball, have them to come out to a tryout with the River Sharks or the Steam and bring that hometown talent back home.
Back to the action on the court, 2:46 on the clock, 18-14 your score, and we've didn't see it, was looking at the clock, looks like 15, foul on, we got a Lester Hart just checked into the game. St. Louis right now, the home of the top basketball player in the country from a recruiting standpoint, playing at Chaminade down the road, and of course, as soon as I open my mouth about it, his name slips off the tip of my tongue.
You're talking about a newer kid, not Bradley Beal.
No,
right?
not Bradley Beal. I did get a chance to call a few of his games when he was coming up through high school, and a more dominant athlete I have never seen at the high school level in my life. But no, the new guy.
That guy.
Kevin or Keith. I can't think of his name. It'll pop in my mind midway through the game, and I'll just blurt out, Steve Smith, and you'll be like, who? What? This is from the first quarter. Don't worry about it now. We'll be good. Back to the contest here. 2-point game. Force. Well, there's a little pull-up and a shot no good from McDonald.
Ooh.
Along the baseline. Whistle blows, and that's a turnover, and here comes
another line change.
Crew, yeah. Only 3 this time. I mean, it's still early. We got a ton of time left to go, but so far are you somewhat impressed with Gateway and how they're doing against the Chicago?
They're holding their own. You can't do any better than that, especially when you've got already 2 fouls on the Force big guy in Caldwell. Oh, there's a good steal.
Nice steal there by Darius Smith, who's going to cross it over down court, take it the length of the court,
Euro
finish
step.
It off.
Euro step.
The crab hop.
Speed is also going to be on the Force's side as well.
There's a nice take once again. Brandon McGill. Guy who played some professionally over in the British Basketball League.
Now that you don't hear too much. It's usually, if you're in the European leagues, it's usually somewhere in Germany or somewhere in
not Britain.
Oh, that was not a good idea.
Here come a little 2-on-1 break the other direction, getting a bump, and boy, it looked like he might have hurt his hand. Was McGill there? He's going to head back to the line.
They'll call that foul on Aaron Pryor. But
yeah, finish that thought.
As I was saying, when you hear about kids going over to the European leagues, it's more of the Slavic variety, the Lithuanian league or the German league, Austrian or some of those other Eastern European leagues. You don't normally hear about the British league. Not to say that there isn't good ball over there, but Britain isn't exactly known for basketball. I'm just saying.
No, I mean, I'm right there with you. It stood out to me as well, the British Basketball League. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know it existed.
Oh, it exists, all right.
Oh, clearly it does. And that one just rolls over the front of the rim. The old BBL. I don't follow the BBL as closely as I should, apparently. I know you're on top of the pulse there, Alvin. I know you are.
I try to be.
Got to move the basketball around a little bit there. That was Aaron Pryor. Now along the baseline, they're trapped, forcing a pass down low. Ball being kicked around, batted around, diving for it to try to keep it inbounds. That was Mike Gills, but it'll stay on this end of the court and stay Force basketball.
The one thing you notice about that last possession by the Force is that there was some semblance of a play. Top side screen, bottom side screen, trying to move the ball around. And, wow, that's a long one. You didn't want that coming out of that one.
That was the coach's son as well, so he might be finding himself a long cab ride home tonight. Big 3 ball up and good for Mike Gills. He was showing off his range in Game 1 on Friday night, but just couldn't connect on any 3-pointers and had his hands full with DeWitt for the River Sharks.
I like him too.
There's a pass down low, and Gills gets a piece of Ronnie Caldwell on his way to try to stuff it home, and the big man will head back to the line.
I tell you what, if it's going to be that easy for Ronnie Caldwell, folks better watch their hands in the rim because he will bring the thunder.
37 seconds left in the quarter. And he threw up a brick there on the first shot.
Number 42, JaJa Nelson.
Jari Nelson will check back in again as Derek McDonald heads off. Next free throw on the way, and that one bounces out as well. Rebound controlled there by the Steam, and here comes Lester Hart with it up the court.
Uh-oh. What?
He just bumped into his own player and turned it over.
We got your boarding pass, sir.
There's a lob into the corner. Step up. There's a 3-pointer. Now they're going to say a 2-ball. Weak side offensive rebound, though. The putback is going to rattle around. No good. Still being tipped around. Still battling for it. And finally that ball's going to come down to the court. And a stiff pass out to the left side now. That's Lester Hart with it. Trying to cut around the big man. The right-handed runner. No good. Rebound. Put back up and in.
Wow.
That was Gills.
Nice little 8-2 run here.
And forgot about looking at the clock. It ran out, and that's going to take us to the end of one. 25-20, the Gateway Steam with the lead over the Chicago Force. We'll step aside, come back with the second quarter. After this, you're tuned in to the MPBA Broadcasting Network.
It was an intense game, but that's what makes it all the more fun to play.
Just keep working hard and encouraging each other and staying positive.
And it keeps us motivated to keep going and to keep persevering towards the top, because that's what sports is all about.
Back inside the Family Arena, Jason Troop alongside Alvin Washington. Here's the replay.
Well, I tell you, the putback there was real nice. You got the trail guy coming right behind after the miss by the Steam, and very impressed with Mike Gills out of Illinois Valley. A nose around that basketball. That's going to go a long way to helping the Gateway Steam be able to stay in a lot of these contests. Is to be able to have that trail guy come in and fill the lane. If nobody's going to box him out, why not get the offensive rebound and put back?
Jason Tatum, the name of the young man from Chaminade, just a junior, the top recruit in the country right now. Playing not far down the road from where we are tonight. Part of the St. Louis basketball talent that has really erupted might not be the right word, but it's certainly grown over the last 10 years or so. There's a step out along the baseline, so it'll stay with the Steam. And it's by no means is it in the Chicago realm of talent and depth that you have up in the Chicagoland area, but the St. Louis basketball scene has certainly improved really over the last 10 years or so, maybe even 15. You probably even know more about it than I do. There's a good take and a finger roll, but no good off the weak side of the rim.
You would figure with the big Christmas tournament at the Scott Trade Center, that's been a staple. You would see a lot more St. Louis talent be highlighted.
The coaches versus cancer shootouts that they have around here as well. A lot of good tournament time around here during the holidays.
Tell you, this kid, Antoine Ware out of Tuskegee University, has just checked in, already putting in work.
Steam with the basketball and the 25-22 lead. Second quarter action here from the Family Arena in St. Charles, Missouri, just outside of the city of St. Louis. There's a three ball from the right wing, and they got a triple down. That one falls. Lester Hart with the three-pointer.
Well, that was a good looking off spot three there.
Don't know much about Illinois Springfield, where Lester Hart played his college ball.
That's another NAIA school. It's sort of like along the lines of Robert Morris Springfield, Robert Morris Chicago. Not a good pass there. Tremel Adams is going to have to slow down a little bit because he's flying way too far by the seat of his pants, and Coach Rick Pryor has let them know it.
There's some bad decisions by the Force have led to a little bit of a run here by the Steam, who lead it by 6. Still plenty of time left in this one, 2.5 minutes, and there's a bump on the floor. Are they going to count the bucket? They are going to count the bucket. A little shove, and back to the free throw line will go. I believe that was John Miller.
Yeah, not bad for the DC native.
All right, they did count the bucket, correct?
Yes, they did count the bucket. Yeah, Elysiak, one of our officials, dropped the bucket and said, boom.
These guys have done a good job over this weekend. Really have, dealing with a lot of stuff. Inaugural season, so you've got some clock issues you've got to deal with every now and then. Watch out, here comes a little cherry picking on the other end. Tremel Adams with the easy bucket. Dealing with clock timing issues and not only calling the game as well. It's been a good job by Elysiak's been the guy leading the way the whole time. Another one from Brandon McGill there, the man from the BBL. Across the pond.
Ooh.
Nice pick. Little showtime here, maybe? No, sir. Off the back of the iron. And
the iron unkind.
And the grimace to your own bench, too.
Jeez.
There's nothing worse than going back to your own bench after that.
Many coaches said, you know what? Just lay it up. It's still 2 points.
And we have our first blooper of MPBA history, right?
Oh, man. Good to see the commissioner, Ed Schumer, out here as well. I've talked with Ed a number of times of getting the Chicago franchises together since October, and it's been a joy to work with him. He really understands where minor league basketball needs to go, and is making the necessary adjustments in the MPBA to make it so.
Had a good conversation with him at halftime on Friday night as well. Turnover again by the Force. Back the other way. That's McGill, or that's Mike Gills, the easy little finger roll there, and all of a sudden, look at this. It's a 10-point lead for the Gateway Steam as the Force can't find anybody to play back of the basket. Some bad card play, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, they need to slow themselves down. They're doing just absolutely way too much.
There's no need for that there either. No need. Now all the way to the rim. There's a little bump, an easy bucket, and the foul. Miller again will go for that old-fashioned three-point play, and it's just sad to say dumb basketball right now by the Force coming across the board.
You know, it's.
Check out the replay we're queuing up right now. I mean,
the one thing that's not coming across right now for the Force is what got them the early lead, and that's being able to get themselves into the set half-court offense and work it. They're just throwing it up there, just like the Steam did against the River Sharks on Friday night. You got to get into your set offense.
There's a pass up top that is almost thrown away again.
You know, passes like that are not going to cut it in this league.
Top of the key with it, that's Amex. He's going to rise and fire. His shot no good. But look at that. Out of nowhere, the weak side rebound is up and in, and that's by the veteran Derek McDonald.
I would like to see him in that particular role, in this particular sequence, because he's on the floor right now with some kids that are not exactly lighting it up from the board. You know, he has somebody to have the nose for the basketball, get in there, put that putback, get those garbage buckets, as they say.
Yeah, you know, I would say that this league is not as one-on-one oriented as the NBA per se, but I would say there's certainly a lot more one-on-one in this league than maybe some of these guys are used to from a collegiate standpoint, and even some of the other professional leagues that they might have been in. Would that be an accurate statement? I guess, especially with the guys coming out of college, there's no doubt about that. This would be more of a one-on-one, you know, mano-a-mano type of thing. You're not running your 2-3 zones. You're not running your, you know, those defenses that you see in the college game.
Well, that's Brandon McGill makes both of those. You know, one-on-one is nice if you're trying to get like a nice highlight reel film for maybe the next team you want to go to. But if you want to show someone how good you can work inside of a set, and you see, that's what I'm talking about. That's two because he grabbed the rim. See, that was one of the better half-court sets that we've seen in this last sequence by the Force. If you want to show somebody how good you are in a half-court set, that's one of the examples right there. You know, they were able to work a high-low and be able to get the ball exactly where they needed to, and they got the two.
Little discussion after that basket interference to make sure the right call was made.
I
didn't think it was a problem. That was a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Under 8 minutes left here in the second quarter. It's 38-28. Steam with the lead over the Chicago Force. And Brandon McGill with the basketball, and he's whistle blowed.
I think we got an illegal screen here. Yep, they called the illegal screen on Fortenberry. What it was is Fortenberry was moving the screen to try and block both guys, and that. Can't do that.
But you can get away with it sometimes. Little spin move along the baseline. Good turnaround. I'll tell you what, McDonald again.
He's got some nice moves. Oh, look out.
Knocked out of bounds that time. McCullum trying to get this steal.
Good try by McCullum. You need a little bit more of that. Give him a spark. Give him something that's going to allow them to get this run back and get this lead back into a.
Chicago putting a full court pressure on here. Picking up full court man-to-man. No back off after the inbound. Again, that's McGill. Drops it back off to Brian Trueblood. Played on the other side of the state at Rockhurst, and a little fadeaway shot off the back of the iron, no good. Rebound popped all the way out to McCullum. He's going to kick it into the right wing. 3-ball on the way, no good. Rebound again, offside. That's McDonald in traffic, spins around, still stays with it. Can't get it to go. 3 or 4 shots he had at it. Couldn't get it to go.
But that's what I was talking about. Let's, a different role for McDonald in the sequence. Get those garbage buckets. You've got the length. You've got the know-how to get yourself in the midst of everybody. They're not trying to box you out. Get in there and get those garbage buckets. Get this lead back respectable again.
Here's Fortenberry back to the free throw line. 6'7", 215-pounder from McMurray College. First one on the way, and he hit it off the front of the iron.
I'll tell you, free throws have been at an interesting premium these first 3 games. Case in point, looking at the first quarter stats, just up through the first quarter alone, 5 for 7 for the Steam, just 2 for 4 for the Force.
Offensive rebound for the Steam as they continue to put it on, up 8, and now a ball kicked. Far side, Darius Smith is saying, well, he touched it last, and ref's saying, well, listen, you kicked it, so it doesn't really matter. There's a steal on the inbound. Nice one now. A good turn and a quick look and a pass to Smith. He can't get the layup to go. And a foul called on the other end. I think Miller picked up the infraction.
I see the role now for Jared McCullum is that top side defender, being able to create a fast break out of a steal. The kid from IUPUI doing a good job the last couple of times down.
Pulling out the IUPUI reference. I love it.
Or as they say, ooey pooey.
Ooey pooey, yeah.
Yeah, I had a chance to see them covering Chicago State back in the old Mid-Continent Conference days.
I mean, there's a lot of IUPFWs as well. There's a lot of IUPU.
Yeah.
People don't get it unless they've lived in Indiana before.
I think there's some confusion on
in the building. I thought the foul was called against.
I thought so too.
I thought the foul was called against the Steam. Apparently not.
You say potato, I say potato.
Yeah, I digress. Back to the action here. A little push and a take to the rack, and he gets it. And a 1. Wow.
Wow, that's a big call there.
Burst of speed from Miller just to get to the rack.
I thought it was a little bit more out of control, but again, I'm not in the stripes.
First one on the way, or pardon me, the three-point play completed there by Miller. 6.5 minutes left in this one. 41-30, it's the Steam leading the way. There's that right-handed little baseline hook shot, no good from McDonald. Back the other direction. Oh, picked it up. Wide open right side. 3-ball is buried. Miller again.
I don't know how in the world Dimitri Riggs got through that triple team to get that pass off. That was a thing of beauty.
I'm not sure if he knows either. A little spinning, and he got it underneath there. There's Tramel Adams with the bucket on the other end.
Whoa.
Now a pass flipped into the corner as well. Did he step on the sideline? He did. And we'll take a timeout here on the floor. 5:51 left here in the second quarter. 44-32. Steam with a lead over the Force. Back with more after this on the MPBA Broadcasting Network.
All right, with your attention, please. You can watch live streaming.
It's a great thing. It was fun yesterday because we're up in Nevada City, and so I was able to watch the game.
Excited to have this online, and so they can view it now and later, and people that can't be here. It's been a really cool thing.
It's a great experience. Anybody who's not have the opportunity to be here at the game, this brings the game to you.
On CoachesAid.com. That's CoachesAid.com.
Back inside the Family Arena, 44-32. Steam leading the force. Jason Troop alongside Alvin Washington. And don't go anywhere at halftime. We've got a special guest coming our way at halftime.
We will be speaking with one of the owners of the Chicago Force and the Windy City Groove, and Steve Sanders. Steve and his wife, Rochelle, who is the general manager, owners of the only autonomously owned franchise here in the MPBA, that being the Force. The Groove is partly owned not only with them but also the league. Some interesting things about Steve and his wife, Rochelle, we'll get into at halftime coming up.
5 minutes and 50 seconds until we get to that on the clock. And again, it's the Steam with the 12-point lead over the Chicago Force. One of the big advantages that the Steam have here tonight is this is not their first game of the season either. And there's a nice baseline jumper hit by McCollum for the Force. Pass down the other end of the court, and he almost knocked it out and got the free steal.
You know, there's McCollum again. You have to understand your role and work that role to its perfection.
For instance, a guy that's not going to be relied on to score heavy, but a guy that's going to be relied on for the small plays, the turnovers up top, the defense, that type of thing.
You know, that's what made Charles Barkley and Dennis Rodman so great in their day.
Quickly back the other direction, missing the first one, but the follow-up putback is in there, good by the Force, and we're back down to a single-digit lead.
You know, that's the great thing about having a trailer. You know, you see the play going, you know, help him out. He may miss it. You trail behind him, make the basket.
Nice little give and go on the cut on the far side, and a bucket good again from Miller, who's really looked good at this game. I remember seeing Miller play this well on Friday night. There's a quick shot from McCollum, rebound to Miller, and here come the Steam the other direction.
There's going to be a lot of adjustments coming up later on at halftime. A lot of adjustments, especially on the Force.
Fortenberry's fadeaway no good, and the Force now with the basketball. McWhorter back on the court for the first time in a while. There's a baseline drive kicked up top. He can hit these three. Adam can. He hit one early on in the game, but he's missed his last two.
Settling again. You're settling. Work the ball inside. That's what got you the lead.
Anderson dishes it off to Miller. He's got the hot hand. Can't hit that jumper, though, and the rebound comes back to the floor before it's picked up by McWhorter. Behind the back, little dish. Blocked over on the weak side, and now it's swatted away again.
Ooh.
Here comes Anderson up the court. We've got a Force player down under the basket on the other end, and they will blow the whistle if this goes in. Well, maybe not. Still down on all fours on the other end of the floor.
Wow, that was.
Didn't see what happened under there. Did you see the contact?
Bandit Price got steamrolled there for a moment. They're gonna need Caldwell back. But Caldwell's got to play within himself. He's got 2 fouls. You don't need a third one before the break. You know.
I mean, we still got a lot of time left in this quarter here. 3:53 on the clock as the free throw misses short.
You know, watching this again, you know, the drive to the bucket. You know, you see the trailer there, the trailer right there to you know get the offensive rebound and then keep that second chance going. That's what your trailer is supposed to do.
So the Springfield, Missouri native lines up the second of his free throws and knocks that one down. And a quick 30-second timeout called immediately after the shot. What's going on here?
Interesting.
Can't call a timeout there?
Yeah, apparently that was a live ball situation.
Even after the free throw there, the made free throw.
Yeah, it's different at the pros than it is in high school and college.
Spin on that baseline. There's that right-handed hook again, and no need for McDonald to take that shot again, but he did.
Drive to the basket, Use your 6'6" frame. Get yourself in there. You're settling too much for that outside stuff, and that's why this lead is where it is.
Nice pass by Mosley Jr. Down low, and it wouldn't go as Fortenberry drew the contact, so we'll head back to the free throw line. That's Derek McDonald, his second personal.
I know Rick Pryor cannot be pleased at the way the second quarter has gone, especially since the score has kind of yo-yoed around the 10-point mark.
Will not get any worse, though, I guess you could look at it that way. I mean, it's been stuck, like you said, right around that 10-point mark. You haven't seen Ronnie Caldwell out there for a week. Still not out there. Are you do you sit him for the rest of this quarter? Caldwell?
I tell you what, Elysiak and Pryor having a nice little tete-a-tete over here regarding the last few calls. Tell you, Elysiak is quickly getting himself an interesting reputation.
There's a shot on the weak side rebound, pulled down cleanly by Pryor. He turns around and fires it. 3 ball from Aaron Pryor.
They needed that one. They got to start playing a little bit better defense on this backside.
Good look underneath, and it's poked away, but a foul is going to be called by McCollum. And that'll take us to a timeout. 2:56 left in the first half. 49-39, Steam still hanging on to that 10-point lead.
It was an intense game, but that's what makes it all the more fun to play.
Just keep working hard and encouraging each other and staying positive.
And it keeps us motivated to keep going and to keep persevering towards the top, because that's what sports is all about.
.39 Steam leading the fourth from Chicago. Jason Trube alongside Alvin Washington with game 2 of our doubleheader almost halfway through. It's been a fun day of basketball and a fun launching weekend for the Midwest Professional Basketball Association.
I'll say.
Back to the free throw line go the Gateway Steam. That's Dimitri Riggs, and his shot rattles in. Eastern Kentucky native.
Actually, Bloomington native.
Bloomington native played his ball at Eastern Kentucky, pardon me.
Yeah, that Ohio Valley Conference, I had a chance to cover that 2 years back when I was down in Cape Girardeau. It was about 90 minutes south of here. Great conference. They just added Baymont not too long ago, and Baymont really has given the conference a major profile among the mid-majors.
A little out of control there on a shot from Travell Amex. In back the other way comes Gateway with a slam home by Chad Fortenberry.
You know, that's what happens when you make better decisions with the basketball.
There's a little jump shot missed again by McDonald.
I don't know what's going on with the Force right now, but this stretch is not a good stretch for the Force.
Stolen away by Chicago. Back the other direction they go, and a nice little up and under. That's McCollum there.
Sometimes you have to let your defense dictate your offense, and that's what has been able to get them the points this quarter. The defense has dictated their offense instead of just being straight up with it.
I do envision a different second half from Chicago when they've got their big guy, Ronnie Caldwell, playing without being in foul trouble. There's a shot up. He wanted to try to draw the foul. It's a violation of the shot clock and a turnover.
You know, again, let the defense dictate the offense. That was one of their best defensive efforts this half.
I mean, Chicago's a completely different looking team on the defensive end of the court without Caldwell in the middle.
You know, they're a lot quicker. You know, they can get their hands in the passing lane. But if they quit doing stuff like that early in the clock, they might be all right.
Nice follow-up from the backside there by Mosley.
You know, how can you lose with stuff like that? How can you? You know, man is doing exactly what he's supposed to do. He is supposed to trail his teammate and get that ball into the bucket. He's not doing anything out of the ordinary.
And Chicago not ready for it.
Either that or they're just lost right now.
Minute 15 left in the half. And there's another errant pass right through everybody. Going to go the other direction.
Wow.
Steam up 55-41. And at least in the early going of the MPBA, the St. Louis team's looking pretty good. Game 3 of the inaugural season. Into the corner it goes. There's a shot from Anderson. He could hit him, but Pick came up with nothing but air that time. Another dish down low again. Turn around. No. Rolls over the rim from Mike Gills and into the hands now of McCollum. He'll push it ahead to McWhorter. And he'll just throw one to the rim. Foul going to be called, and the Force are just frustrated. There's no reason for that. I don't get what McWhorter was looking at. That wasn't. It couldn't have been a shot. It looked like it was more just lobbed to the rim.
Again, for what it's worth, whatever this team has been doing this quarter has taken the Force completely out of what they want to do. You know, the Force are just throwing passes up there that are easily intercepted. They're throwing up shots way too early in the clock. It's like whatever you're doing tonight is not indicative of what you've been practicing on since November, since the combines. Whatever it is, it needs to be adjusted quickly.
Well, at least they've got a half to do it. You know, you've got your 15 minutes at half, or you can sit down, you can talk with Coach Pryor. Figure out what hasn't been working. If there's much conversation going on, I doubt it. It's going to be more Pryor saying this is what's going to happen, I would imagine.
Well, he's got a couple of good assistants with him. You know, one of them has been a Coach of the Year in the state of Michigan on the high school level.
No, I mean a one-way conversation, coaches to the players.
Yeah.
8 seconds left in the shot clock. Weaving through some traffic. There's one that got off, and it didn't rattle home, but we do have a foul call. That one on Dimitri Riggs.
That's one of the few times that Chicago got into their offense and was able to draw something out of it.
They'll turn the, they'll turn the shot clock off after these free throws are over. 23.6 seconds left. Check out some stats at halftime as well. Next one up and good from Sam McWhorter. Steam are going to want to play the final possession. It's almost poked out of bounds and turned over, but, well, it was poked out of bounds, just not turned over. Force are going to pick up full court here. Again, 22 seconds on the clock. Here comes McWhorter to guard the inbound from the corner, right near the Steam bench. Going to be lobbed in right to the free throw line onto the hands of Jake Anderson, and he's going to bring it up. 18 seconds left in the half. He walks it across the timeline and has it poked away. Now still going for the battle, trying to get it stolen away, finally taken away. That's Darius Smith to the rack. He goes, and that'll be a travel. 6.5 seconds left, and the Force doing what they needed to do. But not getting a turnover. Now the whistle's going to blow. Again, what's going on?
No, they're just timeout calls.
20-second timeout, White.
We'll keep it right here, a little short timeout. Well, it was the yelling of Caldwell to my left that threw me off a little bit. He was doing some coaching as well from the bench. Veteran big man.
Just trying to get his boys riled up, man.
Absolutely.
You went from a decent lead to a 13-point deficit because you weren't doing the things that got you that lead in the first place. You weren't getting into your offense. You weren't getting into the big fella down low. You were hovering over the guy instead of hands straight up. It's the little things that coaches see that make a difference in a contest like this. Yeah, this is the first one for the Force. It is important to get out the gate and make a strong impression, especially if you're talking about wanting to win the league.
Well, I don't care how many games you've played in the season. You've played basketball your whole lives. I mean, some of these mistakes are plays that you don't make in high school. You know what I mean? So there's no excuse for some things that we're seeing, like an inbound pass like that, and now it's turned right back over again. Quickly to the rack they go. Can't hit the first one. Can't get the little bunny layup of the second one, and the whistle does blow before the horn sounds. So the Force will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, we're gonna have two shots to end the half.
Sure.
They're
gonna give. Looks like I heard that too as well. 0.7. They're gonna throw that on the clock. As soon as we get all this stuff taken care of, we'll actually get these free throws going. Not much you can do with 0.7. It's Darius Smith at the stripe, and he misses the first one.
Got to hit those free throws. You've got to.
13-point lead for this team. Deep breath by Smith. He'll eye the back of the iron, and he does hit the second one. So 0.7 seconds left. They'll inbound it. The horn will buzz, and that'll do it for one half. 56-44. The Steam leading the way at the break. We'll step aside, and on the other side of this timeout, we've got some interviews coming for you. We've got some statistics to bring your way as well. 56-44, Steam leading the Force. Back with more from Alvin Washington after this.
This is my son, Brett Finbloom, student athlete, community volunteer, college freshman. Ever heard of him? It was all there in his obituary. Brett died after just 2 hours of drinking. Not in a fall, not in a car crash. He drank too much, too fast. Brett died at a party from alcohol poisoning. Friends watched. A few tried to help, but no one called 911 until it was too late, afraid they'd be arrested for drinking.
If medical help is needed because of alcohol, call 911 immediately.
Stay until help arrives and cooperate.
Minors who call for medical care and assist police cannot be charged with underage drinking.
It's Indiana's lifeline law. Make the call, get help, save a life.
Alcohol makes smart teens do stupid things. Stop it from becoming deadly. Make the call, get help, save a life.
It was an intense game, but that's what makes it all the more fun to play. Just keep working hard and encouraging each other and staying positive.
And it keeps us motivated to keep going and to keep persevering towards the top, because that's what sports is all about.
With your attention, please. You can watch live streaming.
It's a great thing. It was fun yesterday because we're up in Nevada City, and so I was able to watch the game.
Excited to have this online and so they can view it now and later, and people that can't be here. It's been a really cool thing.
It's a great experience. Anybody who's not had the opportunity to be here at the game, this brings the game to you.
On CoachesAid.com. That's CoachesAid.com.
Back here in St. Charles, Missouri at Family Arena on the MPBA on Coach's Aid. 56-44, the Gateway Steam, the home team, leading the Chicago Force. This halftime show brought to you by CoachesAid.com, the official broadcast network of the Midwest Professional Basketball Association. I'm Alvin Washington. Courtside with me right now is one of the owners of the Chicago Force and Windy City Groove. Steve Sanders joins us courtside. How you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me today.
I tell you, it's interesting as we start this maiden voyage of the MPBA and just looking at the makeup ownership-wise of all 6 teams. The Chicago Force are the only ones that are privately owned, separate from the league. But there was a reason that you wanted to get into the MPBA, and that was?
Yes, it was. I was trying to get a start. We started off with the PBL for a second, but things didn't work out. I just sat on the sideline and watched the development of the teams from the PBL. I still had my team coming together, but we fell short getting into that first league.
As you were approached by Ed Schumer, the now commissioner of the MPBA, and wanting to help develop this league and with a different mindset as the PBL's mindset was at the time. What are some of the things that led you to believe that the MPBA was the way to go?
Because I was there for the groundbreaking, and we're setting the model in Chicago and all the other teams. Very transparent league Mr. Schumer's been, the commissioner. He's upfront and personal. He makes sure everything's done the correct way instead of just trying to take all the players' money.
Talking with Steve Sanders, one of the co-owners of the Chicago Force and Windy City Groove, as we're here inside this halftime show brought to you by CoachesAid.com. You mentioned setting the template, setting the tone. What is it about Chicago, just as a talent mecca, that leads you to believe that makes the Chicago Force and Windy City Groove work?
Well, Chicago is the main thing. Chicago is the basketball mecca, it seems to look like. We have so much talent in Chicago and from all over the world, but everybody wants to come to Chicago and play. We have where Michael Jordan was at. We have Scottie Pippen. I'm going further back to the Bulls with Reggie Theus. I mean, this is a basketball city.
As you and your wife, Michelle, have made the transition into ownership, what is also notable is not only the Force are the only autonomously owned team in the MPBA, you're also the only minority owners in the league. And that's key considering the opportunities that have opened up ownership-wise as of late across professional basketball.
Yes, it has. I mean, I'm trying to give every player a chance to get overseas or make it to the development league or the main show to the NBA. That way they can show their talents. I'm just here just a stepping stone. I'm giving that first spark so they can come in because I love the game.
If I, as someone aspiring to be an owner in one of these leagues, what are some of the things that I would need to do as far as my due diligence is concerned to make sure I've got the right fit and the right opportunity to not only...
This is my son, Brett Finbloom, student athlete, community volunteer.
Right. I mean, like I said, it goes back to Ed Schumer. We're the commissioner. We're going to try to basically get with him because he has the model set. Also comes with the training. We have improvised Panther training just to make sure we put out a better product. Panther training, I love them guys the best because they turn around and they've been to every practice. They've been giving the guys what they need. And the skill set from the coaches, from Rick Pryor and the staff, the skill set just to make them to that next level. Now, trying to make sure that they get all the needs and everything they need, it falls all on me and my wife.
Talking with Steve Sanders, co-owner of the Chicago Force and the Windy City Groove, here on the MPBA 5644. The Steam lead the Force. Your wife, as co-owner of these franchises, is also significant in that it now adds a woman's touch.
Yes, it does.
To the ownership ranks, and that's key, especially once we get back home to Chicago, and you got young girls that are saying, "Hey,
I could do this."
Yes,
I can honestly do this. And she tried out for the Miami Soul, the WNBA. She went to the tryout. She did good. Got down to the last couple of cuts. She didn't make it, but that still didn't stop her for things that she loves to do.
That is Steve Sanders, one of the co-owners of Chicago Force and the Windy City Groove here in the MPBA. Joining us here in this halftime talk, brought to you by CoachesAid.com, the official broadcaster of the Midwest Professional Basketball Association. Steve, thank you very much. Good luck to the Force and the Groove.
Thank you, sir.
56-44 is our halftime score. More after this. This is the MPBA.
This is my son, Brett Finbloom, student athlete, community volunteer, college freshman. Ever heard of him? It was all there in his obituary. Brett died after just 2 hours of drinking. Not in a fall, not in a car crash. He drank too much, too fast. Brett died at a party from alcohol poisoning. Friends watched. A few tried to help, but no one called 911 until it was too late, afraid they'd be arrested for drinking.
If medical help is needed because of alcohol, call 911 immediately.
Stay until help arrives and cooperate.
Minors who call for medical care and assist police cannot be charged with underage drinking.
It's Indiana's Lifeline law. Make the call, get help, save a life.
Alcohol makes smart teens do stupid things. Stop it from becoming deadly. Make the call, get help, save a life.
It was an intense game, but that's what makes it all the more fun to play. Just keep working hard and encouraging each other and staying positive.
And it keeps us motivated to keep going and to keep persevering towards the top, because that's what sports is all about.
With your attention, please. You can watch live streaming.
It's a great thing. It was fun yesterday because we're up in Nevada City, and so I was able to watch the game.
Excited to have this online, and so they can view it now and later, and people that can't be here. It's been a really cool thing.
It's a great experience. Anybody who's not had the opportunity to be here at the game, this brings the game to you.
On CoachesAid.com. That's CoachesAid.com.
This is my son, Brett Finbloom, student athlete, community volunteer, college freshman. Ever heard of him? It was all there in his obituary. Brett died after just 2 hours of drinking. Not in a fall, not in a car crash. He drank too much, too fast. Brett died at a party from alcohol poisoning. Friends watched. A few tried to help, but no one called 911 until it was too late, afraid they'd be arrested for drinking.
If medical help is needed because of alcohol, call 911 immediately.
Stay until help arrives and cooperate.
Minors who call for medical care and assist police cannot be charged with underage drinking.
It's Indiana's Lifeline law. Make the call.
With your attention, please. You can watch live streaming.
It's a great thing. It was fun yesterday because we're up in Nevada City, and so I was able to watch the game.
Excited to have this online, and so they can view it now and later, and people that can't be here. It's been a really cool thing.
It's a great experience. Anybody who's not have the opportunity to be here at the game, this brings the game to you.
On CoachesAid.com. That's CoachesAid.com.
Back inside the Family Arena, it is 56-44, the Gateway Steam leading the Chicago Force. Jason Troop alongside Alvin Washington in time to take a look at the stats, and one of the first things that pops out in my mind is the free throw discrepancy. 14 of 22, shooting 63% from the floor for the Gateway Steam. The Chicago Force have been to the stripe just 12 times. They are 1 for 12 from the free throw line.
Ow.
So not only are they not getting to the stripe, they're not hitting the free throws when they get there. The lone free throw coming from Aaron Pryor is 1 for 5. But McCollum's 0 for 4, Adams 0 for 3 from the stripe as well. So got to get that turned around as well. From a rebounding standpoint, both teams pretty similar, 26-23 in favor of the Steam, as a matter of fact, over the Chicago Force, which is a bit of a surprise. But when you think about how many minutes were played in the first half by the big boy Caldwell, it wasn't a lot. Maybe, what would you say? I don't have the official minutes on the stats for the Force here, but a handful of minutes in that first half of action anyway, and I imagine we'll see some more of him coming up.
I think the big stat would probably be turnovers.
Turnovers, and I don't know how accurate these are. 12-8 in favor of the Steam. So the Steam have turned it over 8 times, a dozen times already for the Force. I think those numbers are probably a little low on these stats, and they'll probably get adjusted as we go. Leading scorer so far for Chicago, got a dozen for McCollum on 6 of 10 shooting, including 0 of 4 from a three-point land. 1 of 12 from distance for the Force. I'm sorry, let me correct some. Free throws, 5 of 8 for the Steam. For the Force, pardon me. 18 of 22 for the Steam. Force are 5 of 8, so they have hit 5 of 8. The 1 of 12 is the three-point shooting.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
And they have to stop settling for that type of shot early in the clock. Work it. You know, get it down to 6. Get it to your big man. Let him work it out.
We'll see if they go down low a lot to Caldwell early on in this third quarter. I imagine they will. We'll step aside real quick. When we come back, we will get this third quarter of action underway. It is 56-44. Steam with the lead over the Force. Back with the second half after this.
It was an intense game, but that's what makes it all the more fun to play.
Keep working hard and encouraging each other and staying positive.
And it keeps us motivated to keep going and to keep persevering towards the top, because that's what sports is all about.
Well, with the Gateway Steam up 56-44 as we get set to start the third quarter, I turn to you, Mr. Washington, sir. What does Chicago have to do to get back into, I don't want to say get back into this ball game. There's plenty of time. It's a 12-point contest. But what does Chicago have to do to start establishing themselves as a better team on the floor?
Reestablish Caldwell. Caldwell was the reason that the Force had the early lead. Caldwell was also the reason that they established their defensive presence. What got them out of it is the fact that not only that was Caldwell off the floor, but you were doing things that were truly not inside of the offense. And that made absolutely no sense. That's why you were sitting on 8 turnovers. You did everything and anything that wasn't even remotely inside of the offense.
Well, here we go the other way, and this team, a nice job right out of the break there, and a slam on the other end as they break the full court pressure perfectly. It looked like a practice full court pressure. You know, you run it to a T in practice.
You know, not a bad way to get started.
And here comes Chicago. They're running a play, and there's a nice look. Left wing, 3 ball, rattles out, no good. And the rebound pulled down by Anderson. But you're right, that was an offensive set that Chicago just ran, and now they get the turnover, and right back to it they go. Dumped down low, turn around, right-handed hook shot, not going to go. Rebound, put back up and in.
No.
There's Caldwell.
That was an offensive set. What Adams did the last time was shot way too early in the clock. You got to work the clock here. You have to, because that's the only way you're going to get your rhythm back.
Riggs gives the basketball up top. That's Williams. Swings it right side to Mosley, and a foul called. Almost had the pocket pick there. That was Darius Smith.
You know, and a coach can live with that. As long as you're hustling and trying to get that passing lane and create those opportunities, coach can live with the foul.
Steam set to bring in Mike Gills. Gills will check in for Fortenberry. Inbounded by the Steam. That's right to Gills. He turns around and hits that little jumper from the right elbow over the head of Ronnie Caldwell. And Caldwell's looked to his bench a couple times and has pointed to him as if to say, get somebody in here right now. I'm hurting. His right arm is, something's wrong with his arm. Something's wrong with his right arm.
I mean, it is sticking straight out there, too.
And there's a nice little kiss off the top of the glass as well. He's been flexing his right arm.
Ooh-wee. Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of, I don't know what. Something's going on there.
Yeah, you better get to the training staff like ASAP. Just saw Al Grishkin walk past here from the St. Louis River Sharks.
Thought the Steam had the bucket earlier on that last possession, and now a whistle's going to blow.
5-second call.
Is that a 5-second violation?
Again, let your defense dictate your offense.
Well, if Caldwell's out for any significant period of time here, it's going to be tough for Chicago to establish anything down low.
Well, they've got some 6'6" guys.
Sure. Where were they the entire first half when Caldwell wasn't out there?
Making mistakes. That's what they were.
That's true. Ball still being kicked around. Now it's kicked up top. 3 ball on the way. And again, no good off the front of the iron. Rebound snag, though, put back up, tip back in again. It's either going to be Ware or McDonald with the credit on the bucket there.
It'll probably be McDonald, but again, activity around the bucket is starting to be a little bit more for the Force. They're going to need a lot of that to get themselves back into it. They have to, because the Steam are burning them with half-court sets.
Don't forget, this is game 2 of our doubleheader today. Earlier this afternoon, it was the St. Louis River Sharks ending the Bloomington Flex string of 24 consecutive wins as the Sharks picked up a 113-109 win. Behind 28 points from Tyler Leak, who took 20 shots from the floor.
Wow.
10 of 20 from the floor.
Yeah, that was a tough 28. In this sequence, as we come out of the timeout, the Force are going to have to continue to play defense just like, wow.
I don't know about that call.
Again, a coach can live with that.
Darius Smith.
As long as you're hustling.
Palms to the heavens as if to say what? I'd have to be on his side for that one. Didn't like the call.
I have to admit, the refs have been calling it a little tight.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, but it's either going to be called tight or it's going to be called loose.
Again, you're looking at 22 free throws attempted by the Steam in the first half to 8 attempts by the Force in the first half.
What did the Steam do in the first half that the Force didn't do? They got to the rack.
Got to the rack, yep.
And see right there.
There's a nice take right there, and Derek McDonald.
You get to the rack, you create the contact, you get the fouls.
When you had talked about how a physical team that Chicago has normally been, and just didn't see that in the first half. There's a nice dish on a flash to the basket. Good bucket there. Curtis Mosley Jr. finishes it off. He's a Chicago native, played his college ball in Missouri S&T. On the right wing, that's McCollum with it. Gives it up to McDonald. He'll just turn around and fire it. No one there. Rebound. Put back up and in. Nice job by Antoine Ware.
Oh, for the love of a good trailer up in this piece. You know, you gotta have it. Gotta have it.
Jari Nelson getting set to check back in again. Steen might have just gotten away with a travel there. Right-handed runner up and good.
Wow. When you're good, stuff like that happens.
Back the other direction. Force slow it down a bit. 9 minutes left on the clock. Third quarter. 66-54.
Okay. Force can't take their eye off the ball. You got to work the sets.
Here's a little baseline jumper. Not going to go. Weak side rebound. Never controlled. Now the Steam fighting each other for it. And it eventually is controlled by Antoine Ware.
There you go. That's what the 6'6" fella's supposed to do.
Nice little dish that time and just getting a piece of it to force the free throw.
And again, work the offensive set to your advantage. You know, that's the one thing that I like about the Force is that Coach Pryor's going to get them in them offensive sets. The moment they get out of it, that's when they get in trouble.
Here's McDonald to the free throw line. We'll catch that replay here in a second as well. Off the back of the iron, it bounced out pretty good.
You know, going back to that play real quick. You know, this is where when you run an offensive set like you're supposed to. You know, let's see if you watch it here. The dish off to McDonald underneath. When you run the offensive set like you're supposed to, good things are supposed to happen.
Opens up some gaps in the defense as both free throws were missed. Rebound pulled down by Amex. He still has the basketball, and he'll back it out a touch. Looking down low, nothing doing there. Now looking for a flasher coming across. That's Darius Smith. He lost it, though. Now got it right back again. Looking to throw it. Where's the foul? They finally do blow the whistle. I would imagine no shot there.
Oh, yeah, no shot.
And the foul's going to be whistled on Dimitri Riggs, number 33 for the Steam.
What allowed that play to stay the way it was Darius Smith's hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Because that looked like an accident waiting to happen. I mean, there was no kind of controlled chaos about that. Darius Smith's hustle is what made that play happen.
His hustle's going to give him a couple of points here, too, if he can hit the second of these two free throws, and he doesn't. It bounces out. Rebound, though, controlled on the offensive end again. That's back-to-back offensive rebounds, and now a three-pointer from the right wing. That's not going to go. Tipped back out of bounds, and now a whistle sounds near side right in front of us. Didn't see it. Somebody either stepped on the sideline or there was a foul call.
There's a foul on Darius Smith. It was a good call. He forced him out.
One of those hustle fouls. Third on Darius Smith. And the Force picking up full court.
Tell you, Darrell Robinson, the coach of this team, I don't know what adjustments he made at halftime, but they seem to be working. At least
stolen away there by the Force. Back the other way, Darius Smith. Nice pass. Good little head and shoulder fake as well. The shot up and in, and to the line comes McDonald.
That's how a fast break is supposed to work. Run it, get that ball immediately to the guy that's at the bucket. He puts it up, you get the harm, and you get the foul. Now, it's one of the simplest plays in basketball, but a lot of teams, for some strange reason, can't execute it.
Free throw up and no good, and that's, again, that free throw bug biting that time. Couldn't get it going anywhere.
You know, and
here's that fast break.
That fast break, you know, you got to get the ball underneath, and McDowell got the bucket, and here he is again.
Up that time, swatted away as we get back to live action now on the left wing. Backing it back out again, that's McCollum. Bounce pass down low to McDonald. Nice pass right there to the paint. Can't hit the little bunny, though. Wow. I mean, there's been a lot of those missed today.
Boy, that shooting percentage is going to look ugly on the way home.
There's a leaner and a blocking foul called down low. They didn't like it to our left. They love it to our right. They had foul on Darius Smith. That's at least 4.
Unless he was inside that restraining circle, I think that was a charge.
At the free throw line, that's Jonathan Miller is Coach Pryor getting an explanation in front of us as to why that was a block and the shot up and good from Miller.
I wonder if we can get that back up real quick. Because I would like to
see the replay on that one.
I'd like to see where exactly this so-called not establishing the legal guarding position was at.
Timeout just called here by Coach Pryor.
Yeah, I think he's got a legitimate beef.
There's Caldwell back out on the court at least. He's moving his right arm around again, so that's always good. Little 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here.
Coach Pryor's got a legitimate beef because, I'm looking at that play all the way. He wasn't in the restraining circle. He was nowhere.
No, he was more blocked than he was anywhere near the circle. Anywhere near the circle.
Clearly had his hands up. Man, clearly ran into him. I don't know. Look, I'm about as dumbfounded as you are. And that's saying something.
67-57. Steam lead the Force with 7:16 left here in the third quarter.
And this is the type of stuff that you got to play through. You want to be a championship caliber team. These are the type of stretches you have to play through. You're not going to get everything to go your way.
Well, the way I kind of look at it, too, if you're a Force fan, you look at how they've played here recently, and to be down by only 10, you've got to have at least some sort of a smile on your face if you're rooting for Chicago, because it hasn't been pretty, and yet they're still well in the game with plenty of time left. We still have 20 more minutes of play. 7:10 on the clock here in the third quarter. Almost a stumble now. The ball stolen away. Still being knocked around, and that's a blocking foul. That'll be called on Tramell Adams, I believe, 44. Yes, it will.
And again, what's been a recurring theme for the Force being where they are? Not running the offensive set.
I don't think the guard play has been good for Chicago today. I really don't. I mean, if you want to talk about controlling the tempo, running sets, et cetera, that always, to me, goes down to the guards. And I have not been impressed with the guard play.
And that's a valid assessment because the guards really have not been able to get this team going.
Whether it's scoring points or just dishing it off to one of the big guys to score points, it's just that's your quarterback of your basketball team out there, and your guards have to make good decisions. They have to control the tempo of the game. Hasn't happened tonight for Chicago. Not to say they don't have the personnel, just not tonight.
The one thing that also puzzles me sometimes is when you've got those quote-unquote emotional leaders that leave the game, the psyche of the team, the personality of the team all of a sudden takes a huge 180, and you have to work yourself out of that. That's one of the Achilles heels of teams that want to be good but can't because of little things like that.
Next free throw up and good. Antoine Werrigan set to check in front of the scoring table. By the way, it's Ronnie Caldwell riding the bicycle behind us right now, starting to at least warm back up again. We'll see if we see him in there or not.
Now you got an offensive foul.
Hey, that barking helps. People are, why is he yelling at the referee? He's not going to change his call. Well, no. But he might make that call the other direction next time we're rolling around. We're human beings,
That's Rick Pryor. Rick Pryor's been around this game long enough to understand when to plead his case and when to back off.
With it on the left wing, that's Adams. Trying to use his size, get to the rack, and he does so very nicely. Really forced his way to the hole that time.
Now you're starting to see a little bit of what the Force can do when they let their defense dictate the offense.
McGill with the basketball out on the perimeter for the Steam. He kicks it left side. That's Fortenberry with it.
Way to fight for that screen there.
Miller lost it, got it right back again. Now up top it goes to Williams. Williams around a couple. He lost it, and we got a charging foul again. We'll send it the other direction. It would have been a shot clock violation anyway.
But again, you're letting the defense dictate the offense. Perfect 24-second clock run, and at very worst, you were going to get a 24. They got a charge out of it.
I was about to say that's back-to-back charges on those two possessions. That'll get you going, too, as a team. Drops it down low. It's Antoine Ware trying to use his size, force his way to the rack. He puts it up and in.
If he does more than that, I think he's going to be a perfect complement to Ronnie Caldwell in this club.
Nice job using his size to muscle his way into a nice angle. Now the other way we go, and it's knocked away from behind. Adams knocked it out of bounds, but nice defense nonetheless. Timeout on the floor. We'll step aside as well, and all of a sudden the Force have closed it up. It's now a 5-point game, 67-62. Steam with the lead. 5:39 left in the third.
It was an intense game, but that's what makes it all the more fun to play.
Just keep working hard and encouraging each other and staying positive.
And it keeps us motivated to keep going and to keep persevering towards the top, because that's what sports is all about.
Back inside the Family Arena, 67-62. Steam with the lead over the Force. Jason Troop alongside Alvin Washington, and it will be the Steam trying to inbound the basketball baseline right with the 5-point lead, and it's knocked out of bounds by Antoine Ware. You can certainly feel the momentum shifting to Chicago's side over the last few minutes.
They're starting to understand how their defense is getting them back into this contest.
Going to lob the pass into the center circle as Brandon McGill controls it now, and the Steam want to set up. They go 4 wide along the baseline, and now it's up top to Fortenberry looking for that backdoor cut. Little turnaround shot up, no good from Lester Hart. Rebound, those spits all the way back out to Miller, and he'll throw it up top. They just got away with a bad pass there. There's a drive and a dish into the corner, to the shot up and good. 2-pointer buried by Chris Babbitt.
That's a big possession because the Force were going all out on that to try and get the steal, and they were able to come up with a long 2 on top of that.
There's a take to the rack, right-handed runner, no good. Fortenberry skies for the rebound and then finds McGill, who's going to push it far side. He'll slow things up, now twist towards the rack. No help side defense whatsoever, and the easy lay in there.
Now that drives the coach really mad. You know, make the effort to knock him sideways. Don't put the cape out there and say, "Olay." Come on now, that's not basketball.
Especially after 3 or 4 real good defensive stands.
Oh, there it is.
Shot on the run, and that bucket's going to go. Tremel Adams. And the foul called on Lester Hart.
You need something like that. You appreciate Tremel Adams doing what he did, but that last time now, use the backboard. Please, use it.
Free throw up and good. And here we come the other direction. Brandon McGill is going to walk it up court.
You know, the great thing about it is Ronnie Caldwell still only has 2 fouls.
McGill to the rack himself and count the bucket. And the bruise to the line he goes. That was not very strong defense either. Again, everybody just kind of cleared out for Chicago and gave him an easy lane to the basket.
I don't know what the problem is, but the Force need to get their heads out of the clouds. You understand, we got a ball game here.
8-point contest with 4:18 left, still here in the third. Free throw up and good from Brandon McGill.
Adley's already back up to 9. They were as close as 5 a couple of times.
Taking the ball the other direction. Look at that shot thrown up in traffic. Rebound pulled down. Now the whistle's going to blow. A foul is called. Didn't see where it was. Had a ref in my way. We're going to call a holding call on McGill.
It should be a shooting foul, too. It should be at the line.
I think it should be 2 shots as well.
Yeah, because everybody's in the penalty now. I would love to see the free throw totals from this period because that's good. That's the difference right now.
Look at Tramel Adams trying to be the man to take the free throw as opposed to Derek McDonald, who hasn't hit a free throw in his last 5 attempts, I believe.
If you're going to be in this league, you got to make those.
And I mean the point per game average, it sometimes players don't get it until you break it down to say, listen, you missed 6 free throws this game. You make 6 free throws every single game. Imagine what your points per game average would be, and guess who's going to be looking at you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, down the road, you know? All because you can't make a little 10-footer with no pressure on you.
Absolutely. And it's not like you got a crowd in front of your face.
Ticky-tack foul call that time on Travell Amex.
And now you just got the clock stopped here in the third. And now you give them the opportunity to extend this lead.
I was about to say, don't we walk the other end and shooting again?
They were forced were as close as 5. Now this gets possibly a 10-point lead again. And most of that is missed free throws.
Just about all of it. And it has not been pretty here. Well, missed shooting. I mean, the whole shooting tonight has not been good for Chicago to begin with. What did I say at halftime? 1 for 12 from distance, from 3-point land. I mean, I don't care how good you are. 1 for 12 from distance. That's few too many shots to be taking and missing.
That's still settling.
Sure, absolutely. And that's not their game. We talked about them coming into it. Who should have the advantage where? And I said I thought the Steam would have an advantage from a guard play, and I thought the Force would have an advantage down low.
Wow.
It's a big push right there from Antoine Ware. He said my arm. He was holding my arm. Didn't see that though. Now here comes Gateway. 3:45 left in the third. Up by 10. Steam with the basketball, and there's a wide open lane down the middle. Stuffing it home was John Miller.
If there's one thing that Coach Pryor is going to bark at these young men on the way home, is that there has been, on many occasions, there has been no help. I mean, absolutely no help on defensively on stuff like that.
Easy bucket there for Ware on some slop that he picked up under the hole. Kind of a flop there, and there's a pass to Fortenberry, and nobody home to help out defensively with big 53 on the court.
That's what I'm talking about. Where's the help?
There's a foul called, yep, up top there with Fortenberry with a reach in. Haven't seen Caldwell come back on the court at all.
You would figure that with all the bodies down low and the opportunity to swat that away, that they would do it, and they haven't done it the last few possessions.
80-68, Steam over the Force. Back with more after this on the MPBA Broadcasting Network.
With your attention, please. You can watch live streaming.
It's a great thing. It was fun yesterday because we're up in Nevada City, and so I was able to watch the game.
Excited to have this online, and so they can view it now and later, and people that can't be here. It's been a really cool thing.
It's a great experience. Anybody who's not had the opportunity to be here at the game, this brings the game to you.
On CoachesAid.com. That's CoachesAid.com. With your attention, please. You can watch live streaming.
It's a great thing. It was fun yesterday because we're up in Nevada City, and so I was able to watch the game.
Excited to have this online, and so they can view it now and later, and people that can't be here. It's been a really cool thing.
It's a great experience. Anybody who's not had the opportunity to be here at the game, this brings the game to you.
On CoachesAid.com. That's CoachesAid.com.
(80-68), Steam with the lead over the Force as we play here in the third quarter. 2:54 on the clock. Alvin Washington to my right, Jason Troop here with you. Opening game for the Chicago Force this season. Steam playing game number 2 after falling on a Friday night to their crosstown rivals, the St. Louis River Sharks, and the free throw is no good. Again, the Force continuing to struggle just shooting the basketball.
I can see the suicides piling up in the next practice, the way they've been breaking these free throws. The Coach Pryor might just run them ragged.
Just shoot free throws all practice.
You know, that's the difference right now in this game. That and no good help side defense the last, 3 minutes? They've had 2 easy layups and 2 slams.
After a nice stretch of really good stops. Remember they had back-to-back charges that were called. They had a what do you call it? Not the charge of the shot clock violation as well. So there was a lot of stuff that was going right, and then Chicago turned it around to go the other direction. Foul that time called and drawn by Brandon McGill, and so number 4 will head to the free throw line with a chance to stretch this lead even further. It's at 11 right now. It could be 13. First one is in there. It's up to a dozen.
I tell you, when the tape comes back, it's not going to be pretty at all. At all.
Are you fortunate enough to be listen, there's a lot of time left to go. I mean, we're sitting here saying like the Force have already lost this game, and they certainly haven't. But they're down 13 and no signs of stepping up, especially with bad passes like that, as that one's stolen away by Hart, and now he can't get control of it in front of his own bench. But are you on the bus? Did you ride the bus up with these guys?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that'll be a fun one back home if they can't right the ship, huh?
Man, there's going to be a lot of adjusting heading toward the home opener this Saturday.
Force get the ball inbounds. And just checking back in during that last time out was Ronnie Caldwell. So the big guy is back out on the floor now for the Force. Kicked into the corner 3 ball. That needs to go. It doesn't. And the rebound pulled down by Mike Gills. That was a big shot if the Force could have gotten it to go. 2 minutes left on the clock. There's a shot from the right side. No good. Rebound followed up. A little teardrop's going to fall in for Lester Hart. No box out by Caldwell.
That's going to get talked about, too.
Look at Caldwell just pushing people around down low, and he got whistled for the foul as he shoved Mike Gills out of the way with a forearm.
Clearly.
Yeah, he doesn't like the call, but that was the right call. Third personal on Caldwell.
Now, granted, this is the first game. I understand. There are some things that you should understand fundamentally that just aren't going to wash. And for whatever strange reason, the Force aren't doing those things that got them to the dance.
Good little dish back to McGill that time. Mike Gills.
It's just deteriorating now.
Almost lost it again. Now they're trying to lob it across the top of the defense. To the left wing it goes into the hands of Adams. Adams forcing a pass. There was 2 players with their hands in the passing lane. It's turned over again. Mike Gills the other direction. He faked it to somebody. Now trying to get it back, and the rebound pulled down. Outlet pass. Lucky to get to the hands of Adams. Now he pushes it ahead. Little layup off the window and in from Jared McCullum. Here come the Steam the other direction. Under a minute to go here in the third. On to the right wing it goes to Gills, and he's going to slow it down and walk it up top of the key. I'm sure he looks at the big guy and says, I can take him one-on-one. Tried to that time, and his shot was swatted. Now it's kicked outside again to McGill. He's going to step in, fire the shot. Rims around, no good. Off the face of the big guy, and the ball still in the hands of the Steam. The shot was off, and he got it off and in before the violation. They want a shot clock violation. They're not going to get it. That shot was out of the hand before the buzzer sounded. 88-71 now, and there's a forced shot. It won't roll through, but we do have a foul called. It's going to be on Brandon McGill, with 17.8 left, but it's a 16-point contest right now.
I don't know how, I don't know where, but somewhere between now and this timeout coming up in between the quarters, there has to be an attitude adjustment because it's just not there right now for the Force.
Now, I don't keep up with the trends in the fashion industry or not, but it looks to me like a young man at the free throw line has 3 pairs of socks on.
Is that what that is?
It looks like he has 3 different. He's got like ankle socks on, by medium socks, and then long socks on. That's what it looks like. Again, I don't know, and maybe I'm missing the boat, and I certainly am. But that's what it looks like to me. I'm getting a nod to my left. Yeah, our producer is saying the same thing. That looks like he has 3 pairs of socks on. There's a shot as the horn sounds. It's not going to go, and that'll take us to the end of 3. 88-73, the Gateway Steam representing St. Louis here tonight. 12 more minutes to decide this one. We'll figure it out when we come back after this on the MPBA Broadcasting Network.
This is my son, Brett Finbloom, student athlete, community volunteer, college freshman. Ever heard of him? It was all there in his obituary. Brett died after just 2 hours of drinking. Not in a fall, not in a car crash. He drank too much, too fast. Brett died at a party from alcohol poisoning. Friends watched. A few tried to help, but no one called 911 until it was too late, afraid they'd be arrested for drinking.
If medical help is needed because of alcohol, call 911 immediately.
Stay until help arrives and cooperate.
Minors who call for medical care and assist police cannot be charged with underage drinking.
It's Indiana's lifeline law. Make the call, get help, save a life.
Alcohol makes smart teens do stupid things. Stop it from becoming deadly. Make the call, get help, save a life.
This copyrighted broadcast of the Midwest Professional Basketball Association and CoachesAid may not be reproduced for any reason without express written consent.
You got to use the word disseminated.
I thought that was simple enough. Something like that.
Here's a take to the rack, and it's up and in by Tremel Adams as we start the 4th quarter of action. Quickly back the other way goes Jonathan Miller. Trying to go baseline. He does, and finally just gets hammered coming over from the defensive help side. That was Adams.
But that was way too late, though. He should have recognized it and already been there.
Well, he might have recognized him, just couldn't get there quick enough. Adams is a big dude.
See, this is where instinct has to take over. You see the guy going down low, getting ready to take the shot. Go ahead, get there. You know, by the time he gets there, you're already there at least a couple of seconds. Now that foul doesn't look as egregious.
And maybe you don't even need to foul. You can just alter the shot. Both free throws good from Miller, and it's 90-75 now. Right wing with it. That's Adams. Up top it goes. They'll pass up the shot there and then back things away. That's McCollum with it. He has it poked away from behind, but right into the breadbasket of Antoine Ware, and he puts it off the window and in.
Hey, Grandma, look what I found.
Nice break there for the Force. Trying to turn and go baseline there was Mike Gills. I don't know if I like the call there. I don't know if you liked it either. Thought it was pretty good D.
I tell you what, the kid's holding his own. He is holding his own. You know, a little frustration setting in, but he's holding his own. That's what I like about him.
There's an inbound. It's tipped away momentarily, but controlled finally by Jonathan Miller, and he'll bring it back into the offensive end. Looking for a high screen from Gills. Instead, he's going to step into a three-pointer and missed it. Rebound, though, pulled down by Derek McDonald, and here come the Force the other direction. Darius Smith weaves up and around the court, now fires it down low, in amongst the trees, and McCollum's able to find a way to get it in. 11-point contest now, and if the Force can get a stop here and bring it down to single digits, he'll definitely see momentum on their side. A little give and go, and they get that stop. Here comes the McDonald the other direction. He's going to leave a pass ahead. That buck's going to fall in by Ware, and he'll head to the free throw line.
And understand, that was within the confines of a basic offense. It wasn't any showboating. It wasn't one-on-one. Do it in the confines of an offense, and stuff like that happens.
And it started on the defensive end as well with the breakup of the pass. And then McDonald leading it down the court. We'll see the replay.
You know, again, the defense dictating the offense, and that's the end result of it with Ware dropping in the bucket and the foul.
Ware's shot up and in. Look at this, 8-point contest now.
But
as
now,
close as it's been in a while, but now the Force need to continue to do what they've been doing.
There you go. There you go, son.
Here comes Smith the other direction, and he'll put it off the window and in.
Hey, you're going to get hit. You're going to get hit. Continue to do it. Continue to do it.
Left side with it. That's Lester Hart trying to get to the rack. He lost it. Now it's poked away from him again, but they are going to keep the ball there for the Steam.
Great defense right now by Antoine Ware. And I must say, he is really showing his work. Now, not to take anything away from the Gateway Steam. Everybody that has hit the floor for Gateway, from Fortenberry to Hart to Riggs, they've done what they're supposed to do. I mean, Darrell Robinson, you can't ask for any better a coaching job in your second game than what Darrell Robinson is doing. So take nothing away from the Steam at all.
Miller with it, trying to go baseline, cut off nicely. Now he's going to fire it up top. Fortenberry looking for the little give and go. They got it. Bucket is good. And the foul.
In the confines of the offense. High-low. That was perfect. You know, Fortenberry couldn't have made a better pass than that.
That's a big bucket, too, because the Force had just cut it to an 8-point lead, or an 8-point deficit.
Actually, they had cut it to 6.
Cut 6, okay. Free throw up, no good, and the rebound yanked down by Ware.
Nah, I wouldn't have passed it like that.
No, they had got it. Yeah, it's 92-84. They just hadn't put those points up on the board quick enough. 92-84. It's an 8-point contest. Steam with a lead. Just under 10 minutes left in this one.
Still a lot of basketball.
Tons of basketball left.
But you got to stay within the offense.
They get the inbound between the circles. That was Pryor with it, and he'll give it up on the right wing. Trying to slip through a couple of defenders, and now a jump ball is going to be whistled for.
That is definitely not within the confines of the offense at all. And we were just talking about the difference in free throws. Look at this. 10 misses. 10 misses right now by the Force through 3 periods. That's why we are sitting where we are.
Jump ball won by the Steam. I'll tell you what, Coach Pryor's not waiting until they get on the bus. he's unloading on them right now.
That's what's endeared me and a lot of people who are following the Force right now to him, is that he is no nonsense.
Oh, that shot by Fortenberry sat on the rim for 5 minutes and didn't fall in. Back the other direction.
What the heck was this?
I don't know what that was. Out of control, looking for a last place to drop it off.
We should have been past that to Pryor in the corner.
Nope.
You know, again, when the Force get out of their offense, stuff like that happens. You know, it's a broken record, but you're seeing the proof right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Walking the basketball up court, that's Jake Anderson. A much quieter night tonight than he had on Friday night, and that three-pointer won't go, and now we're going to say Steam basketball. No, we're going to say a loose 53, ball. Antoine Ware.
Yeah, they called a loose ball foul on that one. You know, at this point, you probably want to get Caldwell back in. He's got 3 more fouls to give.
I mean, what's the point in holding on to him now? Inbound it quickly to Fortenberry. Although Ware hasn't played poorly. He really hasn't. He just got the rebound there on that missed shot.
I would like to see a Twin Towers situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Back the other direction. Here come the Steam. That's Terrell Williams with it. Little right-handed finger roll won't go, and a blocking foul called is Antoine Ware. Absorbs the contact and gets whistled for it. And checking into the contest for the first time in a while, Sam McWhorter, who got the start tonight.
Wow, that was amazing. Thought he stood his ground, thought he was already there. They said otherwise.
Jerry Nelson looks like he's set to check in for him as the free throw is up and good. So I mean, clearly, Ronnie Caldwell's not 100%. Or there's something wrong with him. I mean, the right arm, or I don't know what it is, but I mean, he's got to be in there right now, right? He's only got 3, maybe 4 personal fouls.
Just 3 fouls. Tell you, Ware with 8 points on the evening. Great night for the young man.
Next free throw misses a bit short. Battling for the rebound, and the Esteem come away with it. Can't get the shot up and in, but a foul nonetheless, and Williams will head back to the free throw line.
I can sense the frustration in Coach Pryor's face because, yeah.
So back to the line is the Rochester, New York native, Terrell Williams, who played not far from here down in Jefferson City at Lincoln University. Free throw up and good, and until recently, the head coach of the Lincoln football team was old Mike Jones, the guy who made the tackle on the half-yard line against Tennessee back last time the Rams were any good. Speaking of football season, it was the Colts winning earlier today, and last look it was Detroit over Dallas by a couple of touchdowns. Next free throw is good as well.
Yeah, we better see what's going on with the.
Better check out the NFL, right? Nice take there, coast to coast from Darius Smith. And back the other way come the Steam.
Hey, you see how it's jumped back up to a 9-point lead just that quick?
To the rack comes Miller. Extra pass, left wing, 3-ball. McGill, and he can't get it. Weak side rebound, snared by Adams. And here come the Force up court again. Darius Smith leaves it off right side. Clean block, and now they're going to get a foul called.
Oh, jump ball.
Jump ball, all right. Jump ball, all right.
Caught him right before underneath the rim.
Looked like it was a clean block at first, but I guess he was never separated from the basketball.
Next time out we come up to, I'd like to give a special tribute here. Oh, they called a violation on Fortenberry on the tip.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I must have been looking somewhere else.
Okay.
Forrest looking to inbound it. I mean, they could quite frankly, they could close this to a 7 or 6 point deficit. There's a turnaround jump shot forced again, no good. And a rebound still being fought for. Now Fortenberry comes away with it, pushes it ahead to Anderson. Anderson 2-on-2. He'll fire the pass off to the left side. Now it's thrown back up top, and that'll be an over and back call.
Yeah, it's one of the few times that the Steam really has not been themselves. All the other times they have been right into it. Wow.
Inbound. Wow, wait, yeah. You're telling me.
I don't know what kind of pass that was. Man.
Got another jump ball here. Steam are going to make a substitution, so will the Force.
And this is indicative of teams that have fought to get back in from double digits. They'll make that one good run, and all of a sudden when that one piece of adversity pops up to get them, they go right back to what got them in the hole in the first place.
Steam basketball, 7:45 left. Shot clock's not running. It doesn't matter. The bucket is up and in there by Brandon McGill. Shot clock is now running. There it goes.
Now it's ballooned back to a double-digit lead.
97-86 with 7.5 left. Nice give and go that time. Maybe got away with a stutter step in the lane, but McDonald finishes it off.
You know, the Steam are doing everything that they're supposed to do. They make the extra pass. They make the extra screen. You know, they've got the trailer. They're doing all the right things. You know, they've had lapses here and there, but they're doing all the right things.
It's almost like they're almost burning too much time on the clock. They passed up a couple of easy shots to let that clock keep ticking, and now a foul is going to be called underneath. I mean, the Steam probably passed up 2 or 3 easy looks on that offensive possession there. Fourth foul on Chad Fortenberry.
Okay, let's see what we've got here. Dallas 24, Detroit 20, late fourth quarter.
Wow, it was 20-7 Detroit at last look, so Dallas has certainly turned it on.
Cincinnati still has no playoff wins in the Andy Dalton era. That's big. That's big.
Big three-pointer there.
26-10 is the final. Indianapolis with the win. I guarantee you Andrew Luck's got something to do with that.
Oh, yeah. That guy's, if there's a player in the NFL you want to start your team, it's Andrew Luck these days. A couple of teammates battling for the same rebound, and it ends up going the way of the Force. It's a 6-point ball game. It could be 5-4, maybe 3. No, rebound pulled down by the Steam. 97-91. Back the other direction. There's a bump and the bucket. Nice play. Good call, too. That was definitely a block. I think definitely a block.
Then the reason being?
Well, I mean, he's just standing there. He's not in any position. He's under the basket. He's just
irregardless of that, you shoot that 3 ball way too early in the clock. That's what got that one.
See where you're coming from.
That's what's been one of the Achilles heels tonight of the Force. They're taking long shots way too early in the clock. That 1 for 12 from 3 land is not a misprint. That's shooting way too early in the clock.
What do we have now? 1 for 17 through 3 quarters. 1 for 17 in 3-point land for the Force tonight through 3 quarters of play.
You know,
that makes it 1 for 18. That's probably they're 2 for 19 now in the game. Somewhere around there. I mean, I can't even do the math because I can't divide 1 by 17. That's 5%, by the way. 1 for 17 is 5%.
All you have to understand is just 2.
Right.
You only have single digits in one column and double digits in the other column. Something's wrong. Something's really wrong.
Terrell Williams at the free throw line, trying to get it back to a 10-point game. He does. 101-91. That's something nice about the MPBA. This is the 3rd game I've called, the 3rd game in the history of the league, and all 3 games have seen at least one team crack the 100-point barrier.
At least one. I got to tell you, that Flex River Sharks game was probably one of the best ones we've seen yet. Because it was tooth and nail to the end.
Yeah, that was a good one. Best game I've seen in the MPBA history.
As short as it is.
Right, there's a take to the rack. Who couldn't get it to go? Got fouled on the way, though. Foul going to be called on, I thought they said 44, but there's no 44. It must have been 4-0. White 4, Brandon McGill.
There we go.
There's a free throw hit by Smith. 6:04 on the clock here. 10-point game. Next free throw splashes home as well. Single digit. Dimitri Riggs will bring the ball up the near side of the floor now. Looking for a screen from Fortenberry. Now left wing it goes to Anderson. Good look, backdoor. Wide open and an easy layup up and in by Dimitri Riggs. Great passing by the Steam that time and nobody home defensively for Chicago.
Again, the Steam are doing everything they were supposed to do.
There's a 3-pointer forced up early on and once again, just bad shooting tonight. There's a take, a little leave behind to the trailer. Some bodies running into each other, flopping on the court. Now finally the Force come away with it. Up the other direction, and an easy little bunny hit by Tremel Adams there.
It isn't bad shooting. It's when they're taking the shots. If you're taking a three-point shot at 20 seconds left on the clock and you're not getting the rebound, that means the other team is taking the opportunity to get that back and get the points.
Clean steal by Darius Smith, and now a foul call on the floor. We've got a timeout on the floor as well.
If we can keep it here for just a moment, we'd like to dedicate tonight's broadcast to the memory of, I think, one of the pioneers when it came to highlight shows and just out-and-out great sportscasting. And a Chicago native himself, Stuart Scott, passing away today at the age of 49, just recently got the Jimmy Valvano Perseverance Award at the ESPYs. Had been battling cancer for a long time. And there is not a dry eye right now in Bristol, Connecticut, or anybody who knows anything about Stuart Scott. I mean, just a wonderful human being, someone who really brought life to highlights and made what ESPN what it is. And not only that, but he's also helped mentor and inspire generations of sportscasters since his arrival at the four-letter. And all of us are forever indebted to what Stuart Scott meant to sportscasting. And he will be forever missed on the scene.
Well said, Alvin. Well said. North Carolina guy. I've gotten to bump into him a couple of times. He was always back at the university, always talking to classrooms as well, sharing his experiences along the way. And I'm sure that the pillow upstairs is always going to be cooler on the other side for him.
Absolutely.
Back to the action here. 5:03 left. It's 104-95. Steam lead it.
And I think the congregation is telling him he got to rise up. That's going to be easy.
Here's a nice interior pass there, and just couldn't get it to go, but he stayed with it. Nope, Antoine Ware, that'll be a travel.
That is an absolutely great call by Elysiak. It was an air ball. You cannot get an air ball and put that as a rebound. That's an absolutely great call by the official. It's one of the easiest calls to make. You don't see it a lot, but it's an easy call.
Well, I think Antoine is over there arguing. He's trying to say, listen, it was tipped on my shot. If my shot was tipped, and I don't think it was. I didn't see it tip at all.
Not even close.
I didn't see it tip at all.
Not even close. That was a great call.
Steen with the basketball on the left wing. That's Anderson. Gets double teamed. Now he passes it away. Fortenberry up top of the key with it. Oh, he had a backdoor cut if he waited for a split second longer, did Fortenberry. Now Anderson, around one player, throws up the right-handed runner. It hits the rim. Rebound pulled down, though, by the Force, and back the other way they go. There's the big boy running the floor, but he can't get the finger roll to go. That was Tremel Adams. Finally, it's off the window and in, though. Wow. As Adams gets it to go, and we've got ourselves a 7-point contest now.
Force are not out of this by a long shot at all.
McGill doing some work out on the perimeter, pulls up his shot, left a bit short. Rebound controlled by the Force. And I don't know what was going on there, a little give and go in your own defensive end, and now the whistle's going to blow. A timeout finally called to my left by Coach Pryor.
Yeah, and he's only got 2 seconds to get that ball across the timeline now. Oh, this is not good.
That's is that Ware down on the floor over there? It looks like it, yep.
Boy, he has played his heart out tonight.
And he's the guy that's really filled in for Ronnie Caldwell's lack of minutes this evening. They're going to help him up and see if that's just a cramp of some sort or what it is. He is going to walk off under his own power and putting weight on the left leg, but grasping at maybe the hamstring there.
Ooh-wee. Yeah, that looks like a hamstring too. Yeah, he's put in work though. You know, hats off to him. You know, the young man out of Tuskegee, 6'6", small forward. He has really shown his mettle here, and watching this last play, the hustle and everything on the floor, and then there he goes down. But if you are desiring to make it to the next level, that's the type of play you got to make.
He's definitely grasping at the back of his left leg.
What's going to be important here is with the shot clock at 18, you have the 8-second violation, so you only have 2 seconds left to get that ball across half court. So you've got to whip it.
I mean, I would assume this team will put a little bit of pressure on.
I would hope so.
Looks like Antoine Ware, by the way, is going to stay out there. So just a cramp or a bang of some sort. Yep, they got it across the timeline in 2 seconds, and they're almost going to get an easy bucket going the other way. They do.
That's big. That gets them down to 5. That's the closest they've been all night.
3.5 minutes left in this one, and back the other way. There's a drop-off pass and a slam from Fortenberry.
They've perfected that all night long. The crash to one side, the drop-off to the other, and Fortenberry for the 3.
There's another forced three-pointer, no good. Fortenberry skies for the rebound, and now stepping on the baseline was Anderson after he grabbed the rebound, and there's a turnover. But again, another three-point shot forced up needlessly with, 20 seconds left on the shot clock that went begging.
It's like, really? Can you get into the offense once tonight?
Can we get a shot out of an offensive set? There's a nice take to the rack. That one rattles around. Still out, though. Ball being battled for, and Fortenberry finally comes away with it. He's double-teamed under the basket, but rolls it out to Freedom. That's Riggs, and he's knocked aside from right behind. That'll be a foul on Aaron Pryor. And a Riggs to the free throw line. I mean, it's going to come down to free throw shooting here, it looks like. I mean, Gateway is going to step up some physical play. It's not needed, though. It's a 7-point contest.
The free throw misses are big here. They're astronomically big. 10 misses by the Force coming into the fourth quarter. That's the difference right now. This game is easily a Force 3 to 4 point lead.
Again, after 3 periods of play, 1 of 17 from three-point land, 12 of 22 from the free throw stripe for the Chicago Force tonight. And I think those numbers have probably gotten worse here in the fourth, if that's possible. There's a nice little floater up and in by Jared McCollum. Well, maybe the three-point shooting's gotten better because they hit one.
Ooh, there's a nice steal.
There's a steal and a well-done one that way. 2-on-1, going to be an easy one. Nope, instead just a little right-handed runner won't go, and the rebound still being battled for. Whistle's going to blow, and a foul called on Brandon McGill. But, hey, the Force get a break there, but you got to hit that shot. We'll step aside, won't we? 108-101, Steam leading the Force with 2:41 left. Back with the end of this one after this.
It was an intense game, but that's what makes it all the more fun to play.
Keep working hard and encouraging each other and staying positive.
And it keeps us motivated to keep going and to keep persevering towards the top, because that's what sports is all about.
Back here on the MPBA network, Steam 108, Force 101. It'll be young Mr. Jared McCollum of the Force at the line for a pair while he's shooting. Some NFL wild card scores to bring to you. 1 minute left down in Big D. Dallas up 24-20. They've come back from a 20-7 deficit to take the lead in that game. Indianapolis keeps Cincinnati winless in the Andy Dalton era, 26-10. So that'll make the divisionals all set.
Back to the contest here. It is a 5-point game, 108-103, with 2.5 minutes left in this one. It's been a game that feels like it's been the Steam in control all night long. Chicago has not played well, but they find themselves right in the mix. Whistle blew a foul call, and it's going to stay with the Steam as they'll inbound it underneath the basket right. McGill trying to inbound it. Look at that free take to the rim by Jonathan Miller.
Wow. See, this is something that will really rile up Coach Pryor big time.
A stop and a hang and a baseline shot from the right block. No good. A rebound finally pulled down by Brandon McGill. The 6'2" guard gets in amongst the trees. Now it's Williams the other direction. He can't get the shot to go, and it's a charging foul called. And Williams is trying to plead his case. I don't know if he's got one, though.
Nah, that was absolutely a great play by Antoine Ware. He knew where the restraining circle was, put himself outside it, stood his ground, took the contact. There it is. Now you have no choice but to put a run together. It's 2:01 left in regulation.
You make this a one-possession ball game if you can get a bucket here. Right wing, that's Adams with it. Looking to lob it down low. Defense nicely there as he poked it out of the way. Not a good pass, but Williams is able to knock it free anyway. And they're trying to post up your boy down low. McDonald again, the guard.
Work the ball back around the top. McDonald isn't the only player out there. Work the ball. Work the offense.
Looking to inbound it, they do. That's to McCollum, and he's going to launch the shot. That one no good. Weak side rebound, though, pulled down by the Force. Looking inside, now kicking back onto the wing again inside. Off balance jump shot. That's no good. Offensive rebound once again. In amongst the trees. Turnaround. Can't get that shot to go. Guess who's down low again? That's Ware fighting for it. He can't get it. Now the whistle's going to blow. A foul called. There's Tremel Adams with the hold. And they'll walk to the other end. How many opportunities does Chicago need right there? I mean, that's 3 or 4 good opportunities to put some buckets in and not a single good shot in the mix.
It is what it is. You can only do so much. You can only coach so much. It's the players that have to execute. And, time and again, as the free throw falls and it's back up to an 8-point lead, time and again the Force have failed to execute even some of the simple things that has allowed the Steam to do what they've done. The Steam have gotten, 6 or 7 easy looks in the paint. Staying within yourself. You don't need to be Allen Iverson to be a good pro ball player.
Good pass down low, and I had no reason for that shovel pass either. It was Antoine trying to dish it off to Derek McDonald, who was standing 2 feet away.
I think McDonald has become his own worst enemy when the game is worn on here.
There's a spin move by McCollum trying to throw up a shot over the top of the backboard, and that's going to go the other direction. Steam will inbound it in front of the Force bench to our left with 1:11 left. And no rush for McGill as long as he gets it across that line in 8 seconds and then get a shot off in ideally 23.99 seconds. 1 minute left. Nice dish off. There's a no shot. They're going to call a charge. Yep, call a charge on that one. And you can hear Darrell Robinson saying, "Don't say a word."
Well, when you're ahead by 9, why not?
Force call a timeout. They've got 1 left. 1 timeout left. We'll step aside as well. 112-103. Steam lead the Force. Back with more right after this. 56.5 seconds left at the Family Arena. 112-103. The Steam lead the Chicago Force. Jason Troop alongside Alvin Washington. This is game 2 of our doubleheader of MPBA action. First one saw St. Louis pick up the win over the Flex. Gateway trying to do the same against the Chicago Force as the ball is inbounded. Darius Smith had it. Now back up top of the key. Adams with the 3 ball. That's not going to go. And instead of a rebound, it kicks onto the baseline. And there's 46.6 left.
You know, that's just 10 seconds off the clock. You could have worked that a little bit more. You could have. You could have gotten a much better shot than that. And that unfortunately has been the reason why the Steam got that 8-2 run to take the lead and haven't looked back.
I mean, again, 1 of 17 from three-point land after three quarters. I mean, you're not taking good three-point shots if you're 1 of 17.
Because you went into it too quick.
21, 2 hands. Penalty.
Foul on Aaron Pryor. And Chicago is going to play the possession game, you would assume. I mean, listen, it's all about Gateway right now. They win this game if they hit a couple of free throws down the stretch here. There's no. I think they win this game anyway. Chicago hasn't shown any way to figure out how to get back into this game. They've gotten as close as 5, I believe, was as close as they got, was 5 a couple of times. But couldn't stretch it any further.
You know, again, you have to play within yourself. Understand your limitations. Understand your strengths. Play to your strengths. Don't let them expose your limitations.
I mean, there's an easy bucket right down the middle of the lane that was missed. There's a little jumper from 10 feet that was missed as well. I mean, I know you're talking about some bad shots from time to time, but even the good shots aren't going down. You can't miss a wide open down the lane finger roll with no one in front of you. Yeah, you can. You can.
You can if you don't use the backboard.
You can, yes. Clearly you can.
You know, there's a lot of basic things that Coach Pryor is going to point out during the course of the film session that I hope wakes this team up once we get to the home opener on Saturday at the Kroc Center in Chicago. Because I'm telling you, play like this will put you at the bottom of the table in a hurry.
12-point ball game now with 27 seconds left. There's a 3 ball from the left wing, and that's I mean, I cannot wait to see the 3-point shooting stats at the end of this contest. It's going to be ugly. Up the court, that's Anderson with it, and it looks like Chicago's ready to just let the clock run out with 10 seconds left in the contest, and that is going to do it. They high-five at center court, and you can go ahead and wrap this one up. 115-103. St. Louis has swept the doubleheader here today. And what a game by Gateway. A slow start, but the Steam end up picking up the W. We'll step aside real quick. We'll come back and we'll wrap a neat little bow around this one. Get some stats for you as well. And we'll find ourselves a player of the game if we can. We'll see what we can do. We'll take a quick break. Come on back, won't you? 115-103, your final.
Game, but that's what makes it all the more fun to play.
Just keep working hard and encouraging each other and staying positive.
And it keeps us motivated to keep going and to keep persevering towards the top, because that's what sports is all about.
Back here on the MPBA, the final from Family Arena here in St. Charles, Missouri. The Gateway Steam knock off the Chicago Force, 115-103. This post-game show brought to you by CoachesAid.com. CoachesAid, the official broadcaster of the Midwest Professional Basketball Association. Alvin Washington will be rejoined by Jason Troop in a little bit. We are right now joined by our CoachesAid player of the game, the young man from D.C., Brandon McGill. I don't know what they did over in Britain, but what he's doing here right now is pretty doggone good. Over 20 points in helping to lead the Gateway Steam to their victory. He joins us on our post game. How you doing?
Pretty good, you?
I tell you that 8-2 run in the second quarter is what propelled this team to where it is. You were down 25-20 at the start of the game. What did Coach Darrell Robinson give you guys that allowed you to chip away at the lead and maintain the double-digit advantage the rest of the way?
Coach just told us to focus. We were thinking way too much. We just needed to go out there, play with full intensity on both ends of the court, and it will open up easy baskets.
Yeah, and then they came in very easy down the stretch. You and Chad Fortenberry were connecting on a whole lot of alley-oops and easy layups in the paint, and that's what blew this game wide open.
Definitely. When you're in attack mode, it opens up for everybody on the court because your defender knows that you're going to attack. So naturally, people are going to help, and that's when you find your teammates for easy buckets.
Talking with Brandon McGill of the Gateway Steam, our CoachesAid player of the game. His play today pretty much locks things up as the Gateway Steam knock off the Chicago Force 115-103. What did you all learn from Friday night's loss against the River Sharks that allowed a different mindset for tonight?
We learned that as the smallest team, we got to be scrappy. We all have to go to the boards because we have a bunch of guys that's 6'3" and under. We know as a team, if we all crash the boards, then we limit the team to one shot, and then we're on the break because we should be the fastest team with our speed.
Do you think a league like the MPBA allows someone like you to be able to showcase all of your talents, not just the ball dribbling, but being able to showcase the talents that allows you to play within a team concept?
Definitely, especially with the NBA rules, 48 minutes, you have a long time to basically showcase what you can do on all facets of your game. Once we get out to if we get to a sluggish start, we know we have a long time to come back, and it just allows you on both ends to be strong, cut to the basket, and just use your assets to show everybody what you can do.
Brandon McGill, our CoachesAid player of the game with 23 points. What was very important is that you and the team made your free throws, and that was even bigger than anything else.
Definitely. On Friday night, we went 19 for 36. Obviously, when you leave 17 points on the line and lose by 12, then everybody's regretting it. So we came in today, especially I wanted to make a point of it. I missed 3 free throws on Friday night. I missed 1 today, but that's much better than Friday, and we definitely needed the free throws. They're wide open shots we got to knock down.
The band from Chocolate City does it right. Brandon McGill with 23 points, our CoachesAid player of the game as the Steam knock off the Force. 115-103. Brandon, thank you very much. Good luck down the stretch.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Jason and I are back to wrap it up in a skosh. Do not move a muscle. 115 for the Gateway Steam, 103 for the Chicago Force. This is the MPBA on CoachesAid.
It was an intense game, but that's what makes it all the more fun to play.
Just keep working hard and encouraging each other and staying positive.
And it keeps us motivated to keep going and to keep persevering towards the top, because that's what sports is all about.
Back here on the MPBA on CoachesAid. The CoachesAid post-game show rolls right along. 115-103. The Gateway Steam knock off the Chicago Force. Alvin Washington rejoined by Jason Troop. And, Jason, you showed me a number that I thought was very indicative of tonight's game, and that was the free throw shooting. The Force had 7 less attempts than the Steam had makes.
That's a good way to put it.
Then that's saying something.
The Force, 17 of 27 from the free throw line. That's 62% for you math majors. And on the flip side, forget about the buckets made. 47 free throws attempted. Just 47 attempted by Gateway. They hit 34 at 72%. I mean, there's your contest right there. And the other one that blew my mind, and you know exactly where I'm going, 2 of 24 from behind the arc. That's 8% shooting from behind the arc. And 24 attempts. I mean, our boy Adams, number 44, 1 for 10. 1 for 10 from distance.
And I guarantee you about 5 or 6 of them were within about 4 to 6 seconds of the shot clock rolling down.
Rushed shots, not in the flow of the offense.
You know, that's something that Rick Pryor is going to stress this week. How is he going to do it? Only he knows how to. We can only tell once we get toward the home opener coming up on this Saturday when both the Force and the Crew get together. And I must say, the bus ride home is not going to be fun.
It's not going to be warm either. It's like 5 degrees outside now, too.
Oh, gosh. If the bus is as cold as I think it's going to be, oh, boy. But it might teach these young men a lesson. This is their first professional game for most of them. It might be a return to professional action. What we saw tonight out of the Force, I don't think is indicative of what we may see down the road, but they got to get it together quickly.
4 players in double figures for the Force, including McCollum, who led the way with 23. Adams had 20 on 9 of 24 shooting. 13 points for Ware, who I thought had a very solid game, a very good game for him. Didn't see much from Caldwell. Injury, I guess, early on in the contest. He ended up with just 4 points over the course of the contest. And McDonald had 15 as well for the Force. And on the flip side, for the Steam, they were led, as you heard, by McGill, who had 23. Miller poured in 23 as well. And then 15 points for Williams. And a baker's dozen for both Gills and Fortenberry. So despite having Gills and Fortenberry really the only size for this team, those two combined for 26 points on 11 of 22 shooting. So they shoot 50% from the floor there as well. And again, the big number for me, 34 of 47 from the free throw line, 72% shooting for this team in this one. That's it for me. No double doubles. Nobody getting in double figures in the rebound category other than McDonald and Ware, both of them for the Steam. But when you look at the rebounds overall, that was really the lone thing that the Force won was the rebounding, 51-41. But they had a lot of missed shots to rebound.
You know? Yeah, most of them being 3-point shots.
Right. I'm ready to wrap. I don't have any other thoughts. I think we've already explained what happened on here. Your thoughts on the first time you've seen Chicago play this season and where they're going to go?
Chicago's got a lot to work on if they're going to be contenders in this league, and I mean a lot. The first thing is getting into the offense and maintaining that offensive rhythm. They have got to get in that half-court offensive rhythm and execute the plays. That's the only way you're going to make any kind of hay. You saw what the Gateway Steam were able to do. They were able to get in the flow of the offense. They were able to find where the openings are. And if you're just going to let them walk through like that, of course they're going to take the shot. Why not? You know, you have some pride on defense, really. And hats off to Darrell Robinson and the Gateway Steam. They bounced back from a tough loss on Friday to put their first win in franchise history in the column. Now, how does that translate later down the stretch? I don't know. But if tonight is any indication, I think the Gateway Steam might be one of the teams to beat a little bit later on in the stretch when you're looking at that battle for the playoffs.
Maybe both those teams in St. Louis, both the Steam and the River Sharks, off to a pretty good start in the MPBA.
Very impressed with the River Sharks. Very impressed with DeWitt and the way that he's handled himself in the post. That's the kind of post player that if I'm building a team around, that's the guy I want to build around right there, is someone who has a nose for the basketball, does not mind getting his hands dirty, knows and understands, look, I got to put this back, and puts it back with authority.
Folks, that's going to do it for the broadcast tonight. Listen, big thanks to everybody that makes it possible on CoachesAid, to my partner as well, Alvin Washington. Looking forward to seeing you back in your territory when we get down the road a little bit.
Sounds good.
I'm Jason Troop signing off for the final time tonight, repeating the final score for the final time this evening, 115-103. The Steam knock off the Force. We'll chat at you all later on down the road.